We're live.
Welcome back. How's it going, everybody?
How's it go? Dude, you know what I totally forgot to do today?
I
I forgot to post anything about the podcast on social media today.
am not at all surprised because I haven't heard anything from you at all since last week.
Yeah, I forgot. I posted the thing because the Cigars sold out, and I got doing that today, and then I forgot to post my story. I need to do that, bro. Maybe I should do it now.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should have done it like, I don't know, 6 hours
Six
ago.
hours ago. Yeah, it's probably a good point. That's a solid point. Solid. There were Cigars selling out today. There was a lot going on. I just forgot. That's
over here, like editing the podcast and pumping the podcast and running a second channel and trying to drag ideas out of you and
it's trying to pick fights with me, you some bitch. What you try to do?
Yeah, Jeremy and I last night were bickering like a married couple. It was pretty good.
We always do that, though. I feel like that's like whenever you have friends that you talk to a lot, you get into those kind of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if you don't, it's kind of like if I don't make fun of you, I don't like you.
Yeah. We talked about that last week.
Yeah. If I don't argue with you a little bit about shit, because like people I don't care about, I'm like, yeah, okay, man, whatever. I don't even bother because I just don't give a shit. Right. I'm like, yeah, your opinion means about dick all. Like,
so the argument that we had though was kind of like the reason I say we're arguing like a married couple is because you were like, you never let me choose the topic anymore.
Well, no, it's because I've been trying to do whiskey for like 3 weeks and you've been like, no, let's do this. Let's do that. I'm like, man, it's whiskey knife fight. We got to fucking do whiskey.
Oh, you got to build the pyramid of suspense. Also, we talk about whiskey like 35% of the time. Anyway,
we actually do. That's no joke. We do. We do end up, we do end up spending at least 20 or 30 minutes of podcast talking about this.
Right. Yeah.
We will tonight too, because we always go over what we're going to drink and stuff. So
exactly. So eventually there will be a full-on show about whiskey. But like I was telling you, it'd be great to get the bourbon junkies on, or somebody who, can kind of equal you in terms of whiskey knowledge, whereas I'm just kind of a floundering.
No, they said they would. It's funny you say pheasant. They have a shirt called the Drowning Pheasant because the bourbon junkies have a technique for tasting whiskey they called the Drowning Pheasant. Where you
I called myself a peasant.
Oh, I thought you said. I'm sorry. I thought you said pheasant. Because they have a tasting technique called the Drowning Pheasant, where you take a sip of whiskey and then you hold it in your mouth and you tilt your throat back so it goes back your throat almost till you feel like you're drowning, and then lean back forward so it coats the whole palate. They call it the Drowning Pheasant. I'll have to let Dan explain it.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, horrible. It actually kind of works though, because you get like the whole palate. But anyway, they said they'd be happy to come on whenever we're ready to have them on. So it'd be fun to have them on, and they do live streams and podcasts and stuff. So they've got all the gear. So it'd be an easy crossover.
Nice. Well, unrelated, but I just noticed that I forgot my tripod laying on the floor here. Next to that, so this is the tripod. This you're not going to see it because it's out of focus, but that is my jib. You know what I did?
Hopefully you didn't break it.
I broke my damn jib.
Are you kidding me? I just got it back.
I know it's okay. It still works. It still functions. But I took off the head. I was in a hurry doing some B-roll stuff on Friday. I took off the head and sat that on the table, and I let go of the tripod, and the whole thing goes. I mean, because it's 20 pounds.
It's super top heavy, man.
It broke my battery mount off. Just ripped that shit right off.
Well, that's pretty minor though. I can
still use the AC power, but I don't have a way to use batteries on it now.
Oh, dude. And see, I use batteries on the jib motor, and then I use AC power on the head.
Yeah, because the jib is what broke.
Because the jib, having those batteries in the back, actually helps counterweight like my heavier cameras.
Right. So, yeah. Well, now I've got to figure out. I have to rebalance everything, but I got to figure out.
Can you just buy a new battery mount, or did it snap like it to where you wouldn't be able to attach a new one?
I was in such a hurry on Friday, I just threw it to the side, which is why it's still there. And I don't know yet, so I'll have to look at it.
You might be able to, and even if you like broke the mount, you could maybe like Like
I
do some of those
can
like Velcro strips or something. You know what I
I
mean?
can rig it somehow. I'm
Right,
sure.
right. Could
But
do a
it,
little.
it also broke my batteries. So that
That's
sucks
hurt.
because those batteries are not cheap.
That's hurtful.
It
That's
snapped
hurtful.
them. What's on your wrist this week? I feel like it's probably the same thing, isn't it?
It actually is. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I was setting up some stuff. I was seeing how many. Yeah, see, we're at a lower view count than normal. I should have put that on social media. Shit, I can't believe I forgot to do that. That's a
all
fail.
on you. Yeah.
It's all on me. It's a fail. Hard fail. I can still put it out there while you're talking or something. It's the old Seiko. You know what I found out though? Funny talking about Seiko real quick. Short story. I'll try to keep it short. I know I talk a lot. One, I did want to mention at the beginning of the podcast again before we got going to all the people making comments because I've seen people ask some questions that the way the podcast are going is we're not really reading comments throughout the podcast. There will be a question and answer portion toward the end. So if we're ignoring your questions, please don't think we're being rude. Just throughout the normal podcast, we don't look at that to kind of stay on topic. And then once a month, we're going to have the Friday night hangouts where we will be reading comments the entire time. But just so you guys don't think we're being rude, that's the deal. Back to what I was saying. I realized I had the strap was wrong this whole time. Like the other day, I was
last one backwards.
No, I didn't have it on backwards, but I don't know. I guess when I sized it, I took more links out of one side than I should have or something. And I was looking at it and I noticed that the clasp was like way over to one side. And I was like,
yeah. So sometimes it works out that you have to have one more link out. And
right.
The way I typically like to do it is if I have to have one extra link in, I have it on my inside wrist side. So towards the bottom of the watch. And that makes the clasp sit a little towards the outside of your wrist on the bottom and make sure that it just means that the watch sits flat on. Yeah.
Right.
But if you do it the other way, it'll kind of sit on the outside of your wrist a little bit.
Right. Which I realized that it was messed up. So I switched all that out today and I like it a lot better. I'm like, oh wow, that is way more centered now. But yeah, again, it's the same watch as as last week. The good old I tell you, this probably is my most worn watch, if I'm being honest.
Why not the Oris?
Well, because the Oris is a little more expensive and I don't want to hurt it as much.
That's why you have it.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of use your shit. I'm no safe queens kind of guy. I definitely wear the Oris on a regular basis, but like this, I just don't. This is like my beater, right? Like this is the do everything, don't care watch. Where the Oris, I'm a big fan of wearing it and wearing it frequently, but I do tend to baby it a little more than I baby this because whatever.
No surprise here. I'm rocking the Christopher Ward,
baby.
C65 Trident GMT, and it looks better on leather.
I do think I like it better on leather. I still say I've never found one yet, but I say a natural leather strap would look dope.
I think it would. I would like this better on like a cognac.
Have you ever seen a natural leather strap?
You could probably get one from Craft and Lore.
Craft and Lore. I'll have to look.
I think he might make them. Popov may do it. I know I've seen some before. Yeah.
Because I tell you, ever since Michael at Das Affinamir, which actually it's not Das Affinamir anymore. I think he's finally done his name change. I think it's Open Ocean now or Open Sea or Open. I think he's done his name change. I think he changed. I don't think it's really Das Affinamir anymore. Anyway.
Well, that's what Das Affinamir means. Right. The Open Sea.
Right. I think he changed the company name to that because the name was confusing for people and it like messed stuff up. So he just changed it to Open Sea to simplify things for branding purposes.
I tagged him today and it was Das Affinamir still.
Did he? Well, maybe he hasn't done the whole switch over yet, but I saw him doing some branding, trying to, I guess, maybe start getting the ball rolling to get that. So it wasn't like a hard cut and freaked everybody out. But anyway, ever since he sent me some natural, veg tan leather, man, I'm in love with natural leather. Like I don't want any of the colors in anything anymore. I don't want any of that shit. Give me the raw natural leather and I'll just let it age and darken with time because it just gets such a pretty color. I showed this wallet the other week, but I mean, that's just such a pretty cognac and it's just going to keep getting darker, but it's just, I don't know, man. Like that color watch.
What is it doing? Is it getting? What's it getting?
It's what's that? What is it called when stuff ages? Oh yeah, patina. Oh, there it is. Come on, bring it, bitches.
So yeah, he's still Dosafenamere, at least on Instagram.
I know he had said something about doing like a name thing, so he might still be in the process. But man, natural leather. I'm telling you, it's the way.
So how much more Mall Ninja are you this week?
Actually, I'm anti Mall Ninja this week. I got another PM2.
Got another.
I got shit. See, because I actually use my knife, so I
oh yeah.
Today it's a different one. It's not the copper one. It's the focus is really good. There we go. It is
Micarta?
Yeah, it's the micarta from Rip's Garage Tech, and with the acid washed blade that I did.
I too have an OD green micarta knife. Dude,
we're matchy today. Like we both got the OD shirts. We both got this was not planned. I just carried my OD knife. Look at that. Oh, I didn't realize I'm matchy with my shirt. I swear I did not match my shirt to my knife. I did not do that. Although
I've been carrying this basically since last week. This is the Giant Mouse Knives Ace Grand. I used this working on the trailer a bunch yesterday.
That's a big old beefy looking knife. I mean, I know it's not a huge knife, but it looks beefy for its size. You know what I mean?
And action on it is fantastic.
You know, it's funny. After carrying that copper PM2 a lot lately, you go back to this micarta one, and man, this thing feels like a featherweight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so light. It is so light next to that copper one. But you know, it's got the also put the
brass titanium
brass backspacer. So
I do not have a brass backspacer. I have a titanium one. So
brass, because you know me, patina. Come on, what's your come on?
But I really wanted this knife from the time I saw it come out, and of course, like everything new from Vox, this went out of stock pretty quickly, and I naturally picked one up in the Discord server because that's what I always end up doing. I got the Peña Mula from the Discord server. Everything, like when something is hard to buy, what ends up happening is I know that my community is going to just snatch them up, and then a few are going to pop up in my server a few weeks later, and I'm usually like on it. Like, oh, that's mine.
You're like,
in fact,
you're breaking up real bad right now for some reason. You are very pixelated.
That's probably the old internet here. It's been pretty spotty lately.
Probably the old internet or the old StreamYard. Although I don't know, I'm looking pretty clear, but
you're seeing your local feed.
My local feed. So I mean, to the regular public, I could probably look like horse dick.
Wow, what a beautiful sight,
dude. They're impressive. I had horses when I was younger, and let me tell you, that's an impressive situation. If you've never seen a horse hanging in the breeze, impressive.
They're very great visuals in this podcast. I got to show you this other thing that's in my pocket. I don't know if I've shown you this. I had this in my pocket just because it's really fun to play with, but it is I think we talked about this maybe.
I mean, I hate to say it right now, it just looks like a big blurry blob because of the internet situation.
Wow. I wonder what's going on.
I don't know. You are super pixelated, my friend. Super.
Can you at least hear me?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's breaking up a little bit. You get the little pixely shits in there every bit and now and then, but
cool. Thanks, StreamYard.
Yeah.
Spectrum or whoever it is.
Somebody just said Taylor is melting. I know we're not reading comments, but since we're screwed up because of the thing, I looked over at it and I saw that and I had to laugh. Maybe we should look into the 1080p feed. Maybe the 1080p feed StreamYard does is
higher bandwidth.
Maybe
it's probably just Spectrum. It's been really shitty here lately.
Your internet's been bad.
Yeah. So it's probably Spectrum. I've never liked them, but lately they've been particularly bad.
I can't complain about my internet other than the fact that I'm supposed to get a gig and I don't get a gig speeds. I mean, but then again, from what I understand, through wireless, you're almost never going to get a gig, right? So if you're using wireless routers and whatnot, if I hook up with a internet Ethernet cable, I get a gig. But who the hell's going to do that, man? I just use my wireless and I get like 500 or so, or 4 something, which I mean, that's plenty fast. 400 and some megs. That's plenty fast.
You typically get about half the throughput when you're using wireless. So
yeah. And I had to upgrade my routers at that. When I was using the one that the internet company gave me, I was getting like 250. And then I asked them, they're like, yeah, those routers we give are really pieces of shit. You might want to buy your own. So I went and got a mesh system and it works a lot better.
They truly are. And the odd thing is I shouldn't have internet issues here because I mean, I am on Wi-Fi right now, but I'm also like 10 feet from my router. Also, I am on a main line and I am the first connection on that main line. And there's only one other person and the office below me. So we have a main line in and it's just us. And they're not here. They leave at 4 p.m. every day. So theoretically, I should be golden, but
you ain't, my friend. And it's been hanging in there for a few minutes this time. Normally, it just kind of happens and goes away. It's been hanging in pretty good, but we'll just have to suffer through it, man. Suffer through it.
Yeah, I even have Alex texting me, complaining to me like I can do anything about it. Yeah, let me call up Spectrum real quick and tell them how dissatisfied I am with their service.
Since we're doing our normal, going over what we're doing stuff, I know you're not going to have a cigar, but I did want to go over this because people can see me because my internet doesn't suck. These, if you like Rocky Patel cigars, right, which I am actually a pretty big fan of Rocky Patel cigars. I think they're pretty damn decent cigars. My Costco started carrying these 10 packs of Rocky Patel cigars for like $30, which to me is crazy to get 10 of these cigars for $30 because these aren't like the Cuban sandwich leftover Fumas or whatever they call those type of cigars. These are like the legit cigars from Rocky Patel. There's some edges in here. There's some of the vintage 1990s and all that in here. I mean, there's some good cigars in here. These are, I'd say at least $6-8 cigars in a normal tobacconist, and you get 10 of them for like $30. So I don't know if you guys have Costco, anybody who's listening or watching, if you have a Costco near you, but if you do, see if you guys started carrying these Rocky Patels because it's a hell of a good deal. And I'm going to smoke this Rocky Patel Decade out of here tonight. That is what I'm smoking. And what are you drinking tonight, my friend?
Still on the fence about it. You were talking about going straight Scotch. I'm going
straight Scotch tonight, man. I'm going full Scotch.
I do the same thing. So, I mean, given my extensive collection here, I think I'm going to go, since I have so many to choose from, I'm probably going to start with the old Port Charlotte. Because I definitely can't start Ardbeg and then go Port Charlotte because then it doesn't taste like anything. It literally just tastes like water. So, well,
I'm starting with Balvenie Caribbean Cask because this is probably one of my favorite starter whiskeys. Like to start the night with. It's such like just a smooth, easy drinking situation. Like it's just so good. It's so good. I'm gonna quickly go Isla after this.
How's the internet looking?
Still sucks.
Sweet.
Still sucks.
I just ran a speed test and my downlink over Wi-Fi was almost 300 megs. My uplink was 0.2 megs.
That's probably why you're having an issue then. 0.2 is pretty slow.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna start off with this here Speyside, and then I think Balvenie's a Speyside. Am I saying that right? Is Balvenie a Speyside? I think Balvenie's a Speyside. I'm almost positive it is. Yeah, I'm almost positive. But I'm going straight Isla after this, buddy. I got a bottle of Lagavulin down here with my name on it. I got some Wee Beastie Ardbeg down here with my name on it. And I got that cask strength stuff from the Scott Malt Whiskey Society.
I have to just point this out because I think it's hilarious. And it's just a really funny typo in the comments. The Kirkland single male from Costco is great. That is an unfortunate typo, my friend.
Those single males. That's where you don't have to go. Don't go to Tinder. Go to Costco.
I thought when you said what scotch you drinking tonight, you were talking about a whiskey, but I mean,
I'm drinking a scotch, not a Scott. A little something coming from our friends. I think I'm allowed to talk about this. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't. What's the date? 9th? I'll just shut my mouth. Never mind. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. Yeah, I was about to show something, and I don't know that I'm allowed to really talk about it. So I'll be quiet for now. My bad. Party foul.
How's that shipment with that that Swiss Army knife and cigar cutter and whiskey going? Because you said
you never got that.
I just thought about it. You're over there, playing with your cigar cutter.
I sent it. I definitely sent it for sure. Like at least 7 or 8 months ago.
Because that's when he first started talking about it.
At this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till I see him and I'll just give it to him in person.
Probably more effective.
Well, it was one of those things where I was excited to give it to you, and then you talk so much shit about Tinkers that I was like, well, he doesn't really like a Tinker, so I'll still give it to him, but I haven't been in any rush because you don't really like Tinkers.
Yeah, I haven't been carrying any Swiss Army knives lately at all.
I haven't either, man. My summer EDC, especially because with all the stuff that's been going on, I really haven't been going out much. I don't. When we talked about this earlier, that'll be a good segue into our topic potentially for the night. But because I don't go out near as much, like my EDC is I'm at home. So even when I'm at home, I always have my pocket knife. I always have a pocket knife in my pocket. Always, at least one pocket knife. 100% of the time. My Hank is in my back pocket for cleaning my glasses and different shit, cleaning lenses when I'm filming. So I always have a Hank in my back pocket and a knife. A lot of times I'll have a Zippo in my pocket because of cigars and whatnot. But when I was going out more often, I tended to carry like a Swiss Army knife and other things. But my summer EDC, because of the pandemic, has been extremely light. It's been light. I don't even carry my wallet that much because I'm walking around the house. What the hell do I need my wallet for?
Right. Yeah. No, I've really slimmed down, and it's mainly due to summer and the fact that I don't end up using a lot of the stuff that I would carry with me a lot of the time before. Like today, I literally just have my watch, knife, flashlight, and wallet, and that's it. Right. That's my carry. That's everything. Like no keys or anything either. It's just that. Well, truck key, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't have my keys because I'm home. I don't have like a gun because I'm home. I have them around my house, but they're not on me because I'm at my house. What the hell do I need to carry to my waist for? So, right. I mean, that's next level prepared. If you're like, even when I'm at home, I've got my gun, I've got a shotgun behind my back, I've got a knife on my hip. It's like, okay, you're at the house, dude. Calm down. Yeah. So, I mean, like a lot of the stuff, like when I did my summer EDC update at the beginning of the year, I talked about how, just like you just said, I do, even if things weren't weird and I was going out the normal amount in summer, I do lighten my EDC up, right? I don't carry near as much in summer, but this summer it's even been worse because I don't leave my house that much. So it's like, what the hell am I going to carry all this gear around my house for? I have been carrying that Das Affinamir wallet in my pocket, even though I'm at home some, just to get the patina going.
Good call.
But other than that, you ever carry something even at your home just to get a patina started?
Sometimes, but I think the biggest thing that I do when I'm at home is just have a knife, like a knife and a flashlight, because I tend to stay up later than everybody else. So I always use a flashlight if I need to see my way around, but typically just a knife to fidget with.
Yep.
Going back, and you're not going to be able to see this now, but that knife I was talking about that was cruelly, I don't know, overlooked by my wonderful quality is the HMC Transient Micro. I think we may have talked about it. Little bitty thing.
I have seen that before when you didn't look like the Lego movie. Luckily the audio version of this podcast will be clean and everybody will be able to hear it fine, but you poor folks that are watching the live stream are going to have to struggle through this one a little bit.
That's just the unfortunate part of of doing a live feed, I mean, there's not much that I can do. Like Alex just asked me, and I saw some people mention it, that I should just reboot. But the thing is, I hosted this live stream, so if I reboot, this goes off air. So that's I mean, we could always restart it, but I feel like that would be
I feel like it could be problematic.
Yeah. So unfortunately, somebody called it pixel patina, which I think that's fair.
Pixel patina?
Yeah. Pixel patina.
That's a thing. Patina. That's a thing. Dude, this Rocky Patel decade's pretty good. I forget how good those cigars are every time I don't have one for a while. It's a tasty cigar, man. It's good.
I mean, I could try to leave and reboot everything and see what would happen, but I think it would go off air.
I mean,
and if it does, I mean, we can just fix it later. That's up to you guys.
I mean, I say, what the hell? What's the worst that can happen? We just have to restart and everybody has to come back in, right?
Yeah. And then I can stitch it together later.
Yeah. I mean, might as well try. I mean, it may not fix it, but if it doesn't, then we know we just have to struggle through it. But we might as well just give it a restart and see if we can get it fixed.
Let me just hit my router, and then we'll see what happens.
Maybe you'll just drop out. I doubt it though, because you did host it.
Maybe I can come back in, because I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago it happened. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, yeah, I think it did, didn't it?
Yeah. So let me see what happens. I'll be right back. Just keep the people entertained.
I'll read some comments, even though we said we weren't going to do that. I'll read some comments if oh shit, I spilled fucking whiskey all over my lap. Over here getting. I wonder if it says I'm still alive. Can you guys still see me? Am I still here? Are we still talking?
I'm still here. I just made you primary.
Oh well, shit. Okay. Well, damn. I thought we had like rebooted. I thought we were rebooting. So he's rebooting. I'm drinking whiskey. Talked in my last video about swishing the whiskey. I don't know if you guys do the whiskey swish. It's obnoxious as fuck, but I feel like if you coat the whole mouth with the whiskey, you get a better flavor. It's enjoyable. I dig it. Some people would disagree with that. I think the guys at the Whiskey Tribe say his first sip, he just likes to just drink it without really doing much agitation. Let's see. Jeremy, hear me out. Replace your whiskey barrel. What? In the logo with a taint fan. That's not a bad suggestion, Luke. The taint fan is something. I think that's going to be a thing. I think we need to get some kind of patent on that and get a merchandise item going with a taint fan. Stop abusing your alcohol. I'm not abusing alcohol. What do you mean? Is swishing abusing alcohol? Is that a thing? It's the bourbon chew. I think I'm a little more aggressive than a chew, if I'm being honest. I tend to be a little more sweet. You know who does it like I do is he's an older guy and they do a bunch of whiskey tastings. What is that damn whiskey channel? I think he's German, maybe. I can't. He's definitely overseas somewhere. He's an older gentleman and he does a ton of whiskey reviews. I can't think of his name, but anyway, he does a lot of the swishing too. So I'm not the only one. I don't feel bad. Jeremy, you mentioned carrying a gun. What do you carry? Most of the time a Ruger LCP. It's a 380. Just because Florida, it's hot. I used to carry a full size. We talked about this a little bit in the last podcast. I carried a full size 1911 for quite a while. It's just hot and it's heavy in Florida and you're usually in light clothes. So it's harder to conceal. So I just went to a little Ruger LCP because you can put the clip on the firearm itself. And then you can just clip it inside your pants without even a holster and keeps it super lightweight and easy to carry. Ardbeg swished was awesome. First time last week, dude. Ardbeg swished is delicious. A lot of people don't, I feel like, give Ardbeg enough of a chance. Right. And I've had people tell me, when I talked about how great Ardbeg was, they called me a liar. And they were like, you're full of shit. Anybody who says they like that's full of crap. It tastes like tar and all that. And I'm like, okay, well, first off, fuck you. You're wrong. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean other people don't like it. So that's crazy. But the first time you taste Isla Scotch, I feel like the smoke and the peat and all those things are a little overwhelming. But the more you drink it, the more you get accustomed to those flavors, you really start to pick up on there is a lot of sweetness on the backside of a lot of Isla whiskeys or scotches. So interesting. Try it. Let's see. Taint fan shirts. I agree. 45 ACP because shooting twice is silly. I agree. I used to carry a 45 ACP all the time, but like I said, I downsized. Computer over here, shield. People did like Ardbeg. It wouldn't survive as a exactly. Ardbeg's delicious, man. Ardbeg's probably my favorite Isla. I know Taylor is more of a Lagavulin man, which I respect. I actually really do enjoy Lagavulin, but for me, Ardbeg I think is better because to me, and I don't know, you guys can chime in on this. I think Lagavulin has a little more of the medicinal kind of situation, and or did I say that backwards? Taylor's texting me. Let's see what he says. Well, that didn't work. My internet shit the bed the rest of the way. So Taylor could be gone. So we'll see. We'll just hang out for a little while and see if he comes back. Let's see. Let's text him. So we'll send him. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I feel like Lagavulin is more of a medicinal Scotch. It's smoky, but I feel like it's a little higher in the medicinal and lower in the smoke. I feel like Ardbeg is really smoky, less medicinal, and I actually prefer the smoke over the medicinal. So that's why I prefer Ardbeg. But Lagavulin is very, very tasty. Let's see. Plus P. Let me read some of these. He said he'll be back. So we'll see. We'll see if he comes back. Drinking Woodford Reserve. I can't click on any of you guys because I didn't host it. I would like click and highlight you guys, but I didn't host it. So let me do it. So I'll have to read it. Mayhem Mechanic says, Jeremy, I am drinking Woodford Double Oaked store pick. Thanks for the suggestions. You're welcome. That shit is delicious. I have a store pick myself right now. The last bottle I went through was just standard Woodford. Most recently, I got a store pick from the Total Wine by my house. They had some store picks and I picked one up and it is delicious. Woodford is just Woodford Double Oaked is one of those whiskeys, man. If you don't like that shit, then I don't know what to tell you. You just don't like whiskey. For $1,000-ish budget, what watch did 1,000? I mean, it's a little over 1,000, but I really like my Oris 65 diver. Or is it a 65 diver? I think I might have that backwards. No, that's it. I love that watch. It's a little over 1,000. You might be able to find one for about 1,000, but you did say 1,000-ish. So I'm assuming that's a little flexible and you might be able to find one used for about 1,000. I just love that watch, man. It's such a good looking watch. It has that double dome plexi or sapphire crystal. It's just, I think for the money, for that price range, it's probably one of my favorite watches. But Taylor just picked up that big date. Is it called a Big Crown date? Another Oris. Look at Oris's, man. I think Oris bang for your buck is a really good watch in that kind of beginning luxury price range kind of thing. Taylor would probably disagree with me. He loves Oris, but he also has like a Christopher Ward and some other stuff he likes. But look at Oris. Let's see. Jeremy, I picked up a new shirt you are wearing and I can't wait to try it out. Awesome. David Stewart, my man. Yeah. By the way, guys, I don't know if any of you use, would I just go like Northeastern use guys, are the ones that have been asking. You guys have been asking about when this shirt would be available. It is now available. So any of you guys that are interested, go on the website, jeremycigars.com under the merch. I like whiskey, cigars, and like 3 people. They are available now if you're interested. David Stewart, I'm glad you picked one up and I'm glad you dig it, brother. Let's see what else we got. I'm behind on the comments here. Forehead. Yeah, dude, I got a big forehead, man. I'm in my 40s, dude. The hairline's going back, bro. It's going back. I usually wear a hat, but I actually cut my hair today. I cut my own hair because I'm still not going out to the barber because I live in Florida and the corona is still a little sketchy here. And I've got a dad that's recently gone through chemo. So I'm always scared that somehow I'll get it and it'll get back to him. So I basically avoid public places when at all possible. So forgive the fact that it's not the perfect haircut, but it'll service until I can get back to the barber. My buddy calls the haircut I get a Hitler haircut because I do like a bald fade. I like it really short on the sides with a little bit of length on top, and he calls it the Hitler haircut. But I don't know. I like it this way. I wear a hat most of the time anyway, so who gives a shit? But yeah, the forehead, it's actually at this size, I don't think you can call it a forehead anymore. I really think it's more of a 5 head, honestly. Let's see. Are you a fan of Tatuaje? Yes, I am. Tatuaje is good. Jeremy, do you like blends? Yes, I do. Have a bottle of it. Oh, it's above where you can't see. It's up here. I think it's overrated. I think the price that most people have to pay for it because of the limited nature of it is, I don't think it's really worth that. But if you can get it for a good price, it is a pretty damn good bottle, I think. Where did I find my Oris watch? I got mine. Was it Joma? I didn't buy it at an authorized dealer. I bought it from a gray market. It was either Joma or Watchmax. I can't remember. One of the two. But I bought it new, and I was happy. Came with all the paperwork and authenticity certificates and all the things. So I was happy. It did good. Jeremy, what's a good starter watch? We actually talked about that a couple episodes ago. I think these Seikos make some great starter watches. If you're, for the price, you can get into a pretty damn good Seiko for around $200-300, like these Seiko 5s, Seiko 5 Sports, which I know the Seiko 5 series kind of there's a lot in that series, but specifically the Seiko 5 Sports, the ones that are kind of replaced the SKX 007. I think for the money, those are great starter watches. I love mine. I wear it all the time. Lagavulin versus Lafroig versus Ardbeg. Mustang versus Camaro versus Challenger. They all have their fans. Yeah, I would agree, man. They're all good, right? It's just kind of, at that point, it's all opinion, personal preference. Sire's cigar pack looks good. Oh yeah. Thanks you to all you guys that purchased those. Those things went. I won't tell you how many we had because I don't know if Brian wants me mentioning details, but we had a grip of them. I mean, we had a pretty good amount of them. It wasn't just like 100 or 200 of them. We had a pretty good stockpile of those things, and they sold out in 24 hours. I mean, boom, gone. I was actually going to post something today saying, get them while they're here because they're selling fast. And then Brian's like, don't post that because they're gone. I was like, holy shit. So under 24 hours, they sold out. So you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for all you guys that purchased and got them. I hope you guys enjoy them. I think it's a really good deal for the price. We were able to put that bundle together. I think those are 4 outstanding cigars. Took forever to pick those out. And then we rolled 2 of the cigars were rolled specifically for that bundle. So when you roll a cigar, you can't just roll it and smoke it. It has to age. So part of the reason it took so long to get that bundle together is those cigars had to rest for a while. So we've been waiting to do this bundle for several months because those 2 cigars were rolled specifically for the bundle. Can I hear him though is the question. I don't hear anything.
Now you can. I have.
Oh, there he is. Oh, and you're back and you're clear.
I'm hotspotting. My internet is gone.
What the hell happened? I wonder.
I have no idea. No clue. Goodbye, internet. I went in there and the modem was flashing red. So,
wow.
So,
wow, dude.
Here we are with my iPhone hotspotting. So,
wow, dude, that's aggressive that it just died on you like that.
I don't know.
It's funny you say that. There's been a couple times when we've had the podcast because I live in Florida and lightning strike capital of the world, right? I'm pretty sure we are the lightning strike capital of the world. I think we have more lightning strikes per cap than I think. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's accurate.
There's a place in the African plains that has the most strikes of any place ever.
Oh, really? Yeah. I know it might be the capital strike of the U.S. Maybe it's not the world. Maybe it's the United States.
Maybe.
But anyway, there's been several times that like earlier in the afternoon before the night we're having the podcast, we're having these crazy lightning storms and shit. And I'm going, how are we going to do this podcast if my power goes out and I ain't got no power?
That is the downside to a live show. Like there are things that are out of our control sometimes. So I think if something like that happens, we might do like an offline audio only or something. Like obviously you would have trouble with that through like we couldn't call each other because you wouldn't have power, but just something like after the fact or change the day or something.
Right. Well, I was just sitting here doing what I said we weren't going to do, and I was just answering a whole bunch of questions. I was rapid fire answering questions.
It's okay because
people were making fun of my 5 head.
Yeah, with your Third Reich hair.
Well, the Third Reich hair, and then he's like, receding hairline. That shit's in full retreat, and I'm like, yeah, dude. That's what happens when you're. The good news is I don't have any people in my family that are full on bald, so I don't think I'll ever go full on bald. But yeah, the hairline and a lot of my family members goes pretty far back as we get older. It's hey man, like I said, I'm not a spring chicken. It happens.
Well, just be on notice that my internet could also just go again because you're kind of like going robotic from time to time, and I think
really
it's the hotspot.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand how if you were hosting, how I was able to keep doing this the whole time and it didn't lose it.
So I created the room, but it was still on air. If you would have left, it would have gone off air, I think.
Interesting.
That's my guess. Well, anyway, let me hit that little flag right there.
Let me go ahead and hit mine. Just so we can have a little note of what's going on there. But anyway, well, so you're back. I'm looking clear to me. Okay. You look clear to me.
Good. Okay.
You both look clear.
Well, the plan today, before our 30-minute detour, was going to be talking about hobbies. So I am the world's worst when it comes to hobbies because I have this addiction, this problem, this horrible habit of turning every hobby I ever have into a business venture. And if I can get one thing out and get one point across before anything else, the only thing I want to get out there into the world with this episode is don't do that. Don't do what I do.
Well, because it partially ruins them for you, right?
Yeah,
because
I've ruined so many hobbies.
Yeah, because then it becomes like work, man. And people don't get that. They're like, oh, it's awesome that you get to like smoke cigars and make money doing that or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but I have to say the cigars that I smoke when I'm doing it like work situation where I'm sitting down and I'm writing out my notes and I'm being very diligent about it and all this, it's not as fun as just sitting down with the guys and having a whiskey and a cigar and not like picking it to death. Right. Like,
right.
It does make it a little more worky. Did he just freeze up again? Oh, dude, that's the greatest face that he just froze with too. I don't know if he just froze with. Oh, you're back.
Dear God, this is so janky.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on tonight, man.
This is on the hotspot. I told you it might cut out. And it switched me back over. I'm on my Wi-Fi again.
Oh, well, that's why it went janky because your Wi-Fi you apparently have dial-up at your office.
Yeah, apparently. All right, so I'm no longer on hotspot. It switched me back over immediately. Am I good now? Do I look clear?
No, you look like a Lego man. Dude, the face you froze on was great too. You froze on like you were like duck facing like a Instagram girl. It was pretty fantastic.
Sweet.
I had a duck face. Duck face. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with your internet tonight, bro. It is no bueno. It is not making for good flow of the podcast. We've got bad flow. He's froze again. He's gone. He's gone, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to turn into a me doing. Yep, he's gone.
Okay.
Nope, he's back.
Switched back to the hotspot. Turned off the other Wi-Fi. This is what we're going to do. So.
This is what we're going to do. So anyway, back to the thing.
Yep.
Don't make hobbies business interest. I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes it's fun to do that, right? And it's always cool to make money doing what you love, but at the same time, don't make everyone a business venture, right?
Right. And just go into it knowing that the best thing you can do is if you want to pursue something that is your hobby and you want to try to turn that into a career, understand, and this harkens back to what we were talking about either last week or the week before, that when people say that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, that's also kind of bullshit. Like, there is some truth to it, but we talked about this. It's still work. It's just enjoyable work. And you have to know that your hobby will become work. And in doing so, in turning the hobby into work, it's going to take some of the fun out of it. So what I've always tried to do, and I'm really bad at it, but like with camping, and that's where we're headed with this, I turned that into a business venture, and it sucked all of the fun out of it for me. So what I tried to do was always remember to have fun, but I wouldn't do it. So what I would do back when I was doing mod, I was trying to force this thing to work and just going out camping all the time and trying to tell myself I have to have fun, but also it's kind of difficult to base all of your content around camping when you write about technology at home and you have to be at home all the time. So when I would finally get the opportunity to go out, I would go out camping and try to make like 6 videos. And I'm only out there for like 2 days, and that is hardcore, and it sucked the life out of me. So just know that if you do try to turn your hobby into a side hustle, there are some massive, massive caveats. And also, you may never make any money doing it. I barely made any money at all trying to do camping stuff. So,
well, you know, it's funny. I'm hoping that the podcast holds together long enough for us to have this debate, because I
if
think
not, we will be back. We will be back.
Yeah, we'll be back to this topic at some point, because it was funny. We were talking about camping, and you're very passionate about camping. I mean, like, that's like your jam. Like you were saying that if you don't get time out in the woods on a fairly regular basis to kind of fucking center you and kind of get your chi and your fucking chakras all lined up and all that shit, that you don't feel right. Like you get, that's your happy place, right?
I haven't been in over 2 years. 2.5 years. I used to go like once or twice a month.
I have a very different opinion of camping, right? I love camping.
You're also afraid of bugs.
I'm not afraid of bugs.
You're afraid of bugs.
I'm not afraid of bugs.
What is a Lone Star
not
take?
afraid about, dude? I can't be afraid of bugs. I live in the bug capital of the world, right? Like we have palmetto bugs here that like carry off small children, right? It's
Jeremy, answer me this.
What's that?
What is a Lone Star tick? Is that a bug?
Okay. We don't even have those here. I don't even think we even have those in Florida.
We're starting to get them in North Carolina. They're migrating east.
I'm not afraid of the Lone Star tick. I've had many a tick in my life, and whatever, you pull them off, you can burn them. There's lots of different alcohol, lots of different methods, whatever. I don't care about a tick. I care about what happens with that fucking Lone Star tick. That's the worst thing ever. Like ever. We have ticks here in Florida. We have tons of, well, actually the ticks here in Florida are not near as bad as when I lived up north. Like I've been hunting in the woods here and gone out in the woods, and I never even got a tick on me. Now, given I had like a thermocell and stuff, I don't know if that really works great for ticks or not, but I never had a problem getting ticks. I would pull ticks off me all the time when I lived up in Maryland and stuff. Like,
dude, when we lived in Philly, they were horrible, but there was nothing worse. Alex and I went camping several years ago on some family land, and wherever I parked my truck, I used to have a tent for the bed of the truck. Wherever I parked, I had to have parked on a nest. I had to have, because we got there at like 4 or 5 p.m. and by 8 a.m. when we both said we're getting the fuck out of here, we had each pulled probably 60 ticks, like collectively off ourselves, the dogs, everything. I remember waking up in the middle of the night several times and pulling them off my arm and leg, because it's just one of those things, like it'll wake you up. It's the tiniest little thing. It's very light, but it's enough for me to be like, fuck no, you're gone. And I had a pile of ticks beside my head when I woke up in the morning.
Yeah. See, here's my thing, right? I enjoy camping. When I lived up north, I camped more than here. Florida sucks for camping. I don't give a shit what anybody says. If you say camping in Florida is great, you're a fucking liar. It's hot here. It's humid. The mosquitoes are ridiculous. It's just sucks. I don't like camping here. I've camped here and I've had a couple good camping experiences here. We went out to an island and camped where you had to boat out to this little island. It's pretty cool. It's a state park. It was funny is the place is called Mosquito Lagoon, strangely enough.
I hate fucking mosquitoes.
Dude, I hate them. And that's the thing about camping here is the mosquitoes are so bad. But this time of year we went, it was cold. There was no mosquitoes. It was on a little island. You take a boat out. You rent the whole island, right? They're not big islands, but you're the only one on this island. The only thing on the whole island is just nature. And there's one little camping site with like a picnic table and a fire pit. It was great, man. It was fun. I have had good camping experiences in Florida. Most of the time though, camping in Florida blows. It's hot. It's humid. You're miserable. There's bugs everywhere. Everything in the woods wants to bite you and eat you. Like it's not fun, man.
I mean, that's basically camping in North Carolina in the summer. I mean, it's fucking miserable. I remember camping one time with Alex, and it was Alex has had very bad experiences camping with me. But one time we went out and it was, I want to say it was like 95 with about 98, 99% humidity. It was so damn hot. You couldn't miserable. Get cool. Like even with fans on our faces, it's just blowing hot air on you. And yeah, there's just no getting cool. So we bounced on that one too. But I mean, fall time camping in North Carolina is just honestly one of my favorite things in the world ever. I love it. I love being in the woods and getting away and not being connected to the internet. It's just one of the best things. And this is what we disagreed on.
Oh yeah. This is one of the, yeah.
I said there is nothing better, no better place to smoke a cigar and drink a glass of whiskey than by a campfire in the middle of the fucking woods. There's nothing better. That's the best. That is as good as it gets. And Jeremy over here, Jeremy Prissy Pants Sires is like, I need my air conditioning and a leather chair.
I didn't say that.
To enjoy any kind of tobacco product or whiskey.
That is okay. You just totally fucking just totally screwed what I said. What I said is I agree. Smoking a cigar by a campfire is fine, especially if it's a nice cold day and it's a warm fire and all that stuff. I said, however, I personally prefer a nice cigar lounge, a nice leather chair, a nice lounge, maybe some good music in the background, some nice good music going, or something like, maybe you get an old record going, go hi-fi, son, go with the old record turntable type situation, relax, low lights, good music, a nice comfy leather chair and a cigar and a glass of whiskey. Come on, dude. That's the way, bro. That is the way. I'm a cigar guy.
You get some live music by a campfire, somebody playing a guitar and some people singing, and it's chilly outside. It's like 60s or lower. Nice little crisp air. I'm sorry, it beats the cigar lounge every single time. It does.
You're nuts, bro. You don't smoke cigars. How the fuck do you know? You smoke like 6 cigars in your entire life.
By a campfire one time, and it was way better than any other place.
You've never even been in my cigar lounge. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't think we can both fit in there at the same time, though.
No, we can. I mean, I got 4 chairs in here. I got 4 big leather chairs in here.
That was the joke.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Ha ha ha. Look at all the people saying Jeremy. There's one guy with Taylor. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. All the rest of them, Jeremy. I don't know, man. Here's the thing. I get where you're coming from. I agree. There is something about sitting by a campfire with a little whiskey and
especially an Isla Scotch. Especially.
Sure, I get where you're coming from. My thing is
there are bugs outside.
The cigar and community in general is all about like big leather chairs and dark lounges. And, it's just that whole vibe of everything. It smells like old leather bound books. And just, it's the whole vibe of smoking a cigar, the cigar
is
people.
Is this for the Instagram hype or
no, like, dude, it's something about the vibe of it, man. It's the same vibe you're talking about the campfire you get when you're in a good cigar lounge with some nice music, some low lighting. It's just nice, man. I like it. And it's a controlled environment, right? So I don't have to worry about getting bit by a fucking Lone Star tick and then never being able to eat red meat again. So, that's the main thing, right? You might be able to have a good experience by a campfire with a cigar few times a year, I can have the same experience in a cigar lounge every single time. It's repeatable day after day after day after day.
Yeah, but also it's not outside.
Outside's overrated in Florida, bro.
That's why I don't live there. That's why I live in North Carolina, and I can drive 2 hours and get into the mountains, and it is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see what you mean. I mean, I was busting balls about it, but I do see what you mean. And look, when in the fall here, when the weather's nice, I don't sit up here and smoke near as much as I sit out on my back porch by the pool. And
every time I used to FaceTime you, you're sitting on your back porch smoking a cigar. I FaceTime you now, and you're like contorted around a tripod in your cigar lounge and trying to like.
When the weather's nice, dude, we get the fire pit going outside, or I get the tiki torches outside. I've got all the, what the hell are those lights called that people hang up like up high? What are they called? Bistro lights? They're not really string lights. They're like big bulbs, but you string them. I don't know. Yeah. But we have all that shit outside. And on a nice fall day in Florida, when the fucking bugs are gone, the humidity's gone. Sure, dude. I sit out there with the palm trees blowing in the wind. It's nice. It's nice. But it's just, I don't know, man.
I'll stick to elevation in North Carolina. I don't want some palm trees. I want like pines.
Dude, you know what Jimmy Buffett says, dude. Come on now.
I don't care about Jimmy Buffett.
I'm just saying. He says, was it changes in latitude make changes in attitude? I'm just saying.
But that has to be one of my favorite things, and I've not had it in years. One of the things so obviously we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. I am trying to buy a house. I would love to buy a house more than anything. And the one thing I want is a great backyard with a killer fire pit. And I want people to come over. Like, well, I mean, if we ever come out on the other side of this COVID thing, I'd love to have people over like every Friday. That would be the best thing ever for me. Alex has a different idea of the perfect Friday night, but mine would be people coming over, drinking beer, whiskey, whatever, sitting around a campfire and just talking for fucking ever. That is like all I want in the world every Friday night. I hate how like antisocial I've become lately, just mainly because I work online. I don't see any friends anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that anymore.
Well, dude, I think I mentioned that. Was it in the podcast or one of my videos? I don't know what the hell where I was talking to you. I don't even remember where I say shit half the time anymore. But
well, when you talk so much, it's hard to remember everything you say.
Right?
When you said it.
I do miss that though. Like on the weekend, I have a couple buddies that are like my cigar whiskey buddies. And we would come over and we'd sit outside and drink whiskey and smoke cigars. And it was a social thing, right? Like a big part of drinking whiskey and smoking cigars is being social. Like I do it daily because I'm a cigar smoker. So even when I'm by myself, I drink whiskey and smoke cigars. But it's more enjoyable when you're sharing that with somebody, right? With some buddies or whatnot.
Hey, if I can get me some more packs of cigars like that you had earlier, I mean, I'd probably smoke them more regularly, but the ones I have are like $10 a stick, and I can't afford all that all the time.
I'm telling you, dude, look, do you have a Costco near you?
No.
Oh, damn. I'm telling you, dude, this pack is amazing for the price. I mean, for $30, it's unbelievable.
So buy one and ship it to me.
I can do that actually, because they're all sealed up. I'll throw a Bavita in there. It'll be good.
Hey, there we go. Now we're talking.
And I can expect
that in like 3 years.
Well, it's going to be at least a couple of weeks before I go back to Costco because it's not super close to my house. But next time I go, I'll pick up one. And I can send you a sample of that Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, that cast strength Isla, so you can get a little nip. Speaking of that, it's time to switch over from the starter whiskey to. Do we go Lagavulin next or Wee Beastie?
I've never had Wee Beastie, so I can't really speak on that.
I'll go Lagavulin first, and then I'll go over Wee Beastie. I haven't had any Lagavulin in a while.
But the reason I brought this up and we're talking about hobbies is something I was talking to Jeremy about, and actually uploaded a video about this today, is my other YouTube channel was, how can I make this bigger? I don't think I can. My other YouTube channel was about camping and outdoors for the longest time. And this is what I spent my entire day working on yesterday, is getting this trailer ready for camping again. So we're about to take Eleanor on her first camping trip. She's 16 months old, so we're going to go pretty easy into a little campground with a spot.
Can I say that looks like an Armageddon trailer?
It pretty much is.
I mean, that's what it looks like, because it's all like camoed and shit. So it looks all like,
I hate the camo. I hate the camo. I want to paint it all black. Yeah,
I don't dislike the camo.
I want to rhino line the whole thing.
Yeah, that would be dope. Rhino lining is good, man.
Yeah. So I got a better picture of it. Hang on.
I want to get a old CJ7 or CJ5 and rebuild it, and I want to rhino line the whole inside of that when I get it. Rhino lining is good. Has really not, it's good for certain purposes.
But this thing right here, that's a water heater. So you can take a nice hot shower out in the woods if you want.
Well, son, you ain't camping, you're glamping.
It's pretty glampy. Ooh, it's definitely pretty glampy, but there's a 20-gallon water tank, solar panels, there's a battery running all the lights, a little kitchenette in this box back here. I'm a fan of this thing.
I see. I don't need to be by a campfire. You know why?
Because you got it in a glass.
Yeah, because this is a campfire in a glass right here.
Yeah,
there is definitely more of a ocean vibe to Lagavulin, I think, than Ardbeg. There's more of a briny, oceany smell in Ardbeg or in Lagavulin than there is in Ardbeg. Ardbeg, I think the smoke is stronger. This has got more of like smoke mixed with like briny ocean, campfire on the ocean kind of smell.
That's why I said when we were riding out that hurricane and there was a house on fire, it smelled like Lagavulin. Like it literally, not even just a little bit, it smelled just like I popped open a bottle. It was one of my best experiences ever. And unfortunately, it was while someone's house was burning down. But I mean,
that's what you
the
smelled.
olfactory
like I said,
portion of that was great.
What that wasn't that was broken dreams that you were smelling.
Yeah. Somebody's beach house going up in flames.
So that thing pops out into a tent, right? Like it's a pop up.
Yeah. So the top is a rooftop tent, which needs to be replaced. That thing is like 15 years old at this point. So it's one of the very first rooftop tents. Well, not first. They actually had those back in like the 50s and 60s. Those little fold out tents. But it pops out like that. I can have the whole trailer set up in about 5 minutes.
And how big is the tent area?
It's big, and I've slept 3 people in there before.
Oh, okay. So it's not huge, but it's big.
But like if Alex and I and Eleanor wanted to go on like a weekend trip to like just pull it off somewhere, there's free campsites all over the place. Pull off the road, camp for 2 nights, and come home. There's not a better setup.
Was that the picture you posted with her in the tent? Was it in that tent? You had it opened up?
Yeah. So that was her first time ever even seeing that trailer.
Oh,
and really? I pulled it out front of the house yesterday after I got it fixed at Rick's and threw her up in there. And dude, she just had a ball for like 30, 40 minutes just running around in circles. Nothing in there, just running in circles on the mattress.
It's good, man. I don't know that it's better than Ardbeg, but damn, it's good. It's good.
It is.
The Lagavulin is a tasty whiskey. I'm not going to lie.
It's my favorite.
To go back to that, don't you remember how fun it was as a kid to be in a tent, though, man? Come on, dude. Yeah. I remember just setting a tent up in my backyard. Like, I didn't give a shit. You could set it up in the house, in the back. I didn't care. I just wanted to be in a tent. Bro, you know what I mean? Like,
bro, I am 30 years old, and I'm still the same exact way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like I could put that tent in my front yard and sleep in it, and I'd be happy. I'd be so happy.
See, there's the chloroseptic. That's the thing that I think makes Ardbeg win to me. I don't mind the medicinal kind of situation that's in Lagavulin, but I prefer the finish on Ardbeg. Ardbeg finishes sweeter. I think Lagavulin finishes a little medicinal for me.
I don't get the medicinal. I definitely get medicinal out of the Port Charlotte. Which that was a heavy pour to begin with, so I'm still working on it. You don't get like a little bit of a chloroseptic flavor in Lagavulin? It has been a minute since I had Lagavulin, so I definitely would like to revisit it. I have an unopened bottle at home, so drink it back to back. Do like a A/B testing with you've got some Ardbeg now, so do an A/B with Ardbeg, and I bet you'll taste that medicinal note that I'm talking about. I'll bring it next week and crack it open before I take it camping, because that's ultimately where that bottle is going to get finished, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm so excited. It's been over 2 years. I think the last time I went camping was like March 2018. And I used to go once or twice a month before that. So I definitely miss it. It's something that, I don't know, it is very centering for me. I mean, having worked online for 10 years and constantly sitting at a desk and constantly being within reach of people and always just always being accessible to everyone. Just drives me crazy. And going out into the woods and not having service is my favorite.
There's definitely something to be said. And I don't know, this could be some hippy dippy woohoo woo woo bullshit, but they say people say this, who the fuck is they, right?
Alex's family calls me they.
Yeah. They say, you know what I mean?
Well, they call me they because they're like, I don't know. They say this. Ask Taylor. He's they. Because I always happen to know random shit. So
they say that all the Wi-Fi and all the shit that goes through the air like has an effect on people, right? And they say that getting out in the woods, getting away from all the shit kind of helps you clear your mind and clear everything. I don't know if that's true. That could be some hippy dippy woo woo shit, but that's what I'm doing quotation fingers for people that are listening to this. They say.
Well, I don't know about that. All I know is that when I don't get 15 fucking phone calls a day from people that are like, your car's extended warranty is about to expire. I am
on a car that you haven't had for 32 years. Dude, I had that call the other day on a truck that I legitimately have not had since before my first child was born. That's how long ago I'm like, you guys are fucking idiots. I have not had that truck for like 14 years.
Right. And I get
your list straight.
They're calling me about my truck, which is a 2020. I don't need an extended warranty yet. Like, I am fine. Speaking of, that truck does not have a very long warranty, which is a little concerning. It's only 30,000 miles.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. A lot of the American trucks, I feel like they don't, if I remember correctly, mine didn't have a crazy long warranty either. They don't really like to warranty them very long, I don't feel like, especially the bumper to bumper. A lot of time there's like a longer drivetrain, but the bumper to bumper is usually pretty fucking short.
This right here is exactly why Alex has a bad time every time we go camping. She's like Snapchatting and TikToking when we're in the woods.
You can't. When you go to the woods, you got to unplug, man.
Just turn it, cut it off.
You got to unplug. That's part of the camping thing is like getting away from all that shit, right? Like just.
I love the smell of campfire, but I love cooking over a campfire.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I want to do, one series I used to have on my second channel was like a campfire cooking challenge, and I just had so much fun with it. I only did it twice, but it's something I would love to do a lot and get good at. Really, I'd love to just be able to cook over fire anywhere, anytime, and just be good at it.
Do you use like the Dutch ovens and all that shit to make like pies and like cobblers and stuff?
Well, the only Dutch oven I have was gifted to me, and it's ceramic on the outside, so I haven't used it. Like, it's not cast iron, like full cast iron. It's coated. And
I'm not talking about Dutch oven like putting your significant other's head under the covers and farting. I'm talking about like.
That also may be why Alex doesn't like camping. So.
Giving her the old Dutch oven. No, but like a guy I used to work with used to make it was like I think it was if I remember correctly, a blueberry crumble. And he made it in like a Dutch oven. And like there was a lid that had a lip on it, and he would put hot coals on the lid. He would put it over the fire and then and it would like bake the shit. And man, it was fucking delicious.
Yeah. So when we drove the Oregon Trail a couple of years ago, part of so we were playing Oregon Trail, the game, in real life while driving the Oregon Trail in a new American-made wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little groan worthy, but it was also very fun. But we did challenges along the way, and one of the challenges was campfire cooking. We had to make biscuits, scratch-made biscuits over a fire in a little single-made, like little itty-bitty portion-sized Dutch oven, and it was great. We didn't win. We got second place, but that was bullshit because my shit was gooey on the inside and crispy on the outside, and that is how a scratch-made biscuit should be. Not gooey, but like soft.
My uncle used to fry them when we would camp. He would put a little bit of oil in the pan and then just like fry the biscuits. And them sons of bitches were delicious. Dude.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but food is so much better when you're camping.
Because you're fucking starving.
Maybe, but it's so much better. It tastes so good.
You're hungry as shit. I know some of the best hot dogs I've ever had in my life was while I was camping, right? That damn hot dog tastes so good. You're like, why does a hot dog taste so damn good when I'm out in the woods? Because you're hungry as shit and you can't just go to the pantry and get some food.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I eat far less when I'm camping. I don't fucking snack all the time. I'm not hungry all the time.
Well, you're going to be burning calories because you're putting up tents, you're cutting wood, you're doing things.
I drink like 10 times more water.
Right.
Like it's a much healthier lifestyle for me. I just haven't done it in a long time, and I'm just super excited about it. And I don't know, it's just a portion of my life that's been missing basically since Alex got pregnant. And it's no one's fault, but the thing that I wouldn't say worried about, but that's been on the back of my mind basically since Eleanor was born is, am I going to like camping like I used to? Like, I'm so looking forward to taking Eleanor and Flynn, which is our future son, camping. Super looking forward. What?
I don't know that you will.
Well, no.
Eventually you will. Sometimes taking kids camping sucks.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm very excited about taking them camping, and whether they like it or not, it's just something I want to introduce to them. But what I'm talking about is I don't know if I'm going to like camping by myself anymore, because just like I used to love traveling and going places and doing things, but now if I don't even get home at night during the week to say goodnight to Eleanor, I don't put her to bed any Wednesday now. Right. Every Wednesday I'm here.
Yeah.
It just irks me. It kills me. I love putting her to bed, and I love seeing Eleanor and playing with her and hanging out. And when I don't get to, I'm definitely very, very bummed. And I'm just worried that I won't enjoy camping by myself like I used to.
You probably won't, but it's replaced by when your kids get a little older, because camping with young kids can kind of suck sometimes, man, because they get grumpy and they're not really feeling it. And it can kind of be a fucking nightmare, if I'm being honest. But when they get older and they have fun and you're teaching them things and they're digging it and they're having that like tent experience and, stuff that you talked about, it's stuff that they'll remember for the rest of their life. And so your fun of camping by yourself is replaced by the fun of experiencing that with your children. Right. So I think it's probably even better. Right. I think it's a more enriching experience than camping by yourself.
And I think it will be, but the thing
it might not be right away though, bro. Just be ready for she might get bummed out the first couple times.
Dude, Eleanor is like super hype on things immediately right off the rip. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, fuck this, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with it. So she's a lot like Alex in that regard. But the point I'm getting to is that once all of this COVID-19 stuff is over, I mean, part of my plan is to incorporate some of the travel that I do into the work I do, like traveling to different makers and camping along the way, driving out to see Blade HQ and my buddies there. Like, that's all part of the plan. I was going to do that this year. Obviously that didn't happen, but I mean, it's definitely something that I'm not looking forward to like I was. I still want to do it. I still want to so bad, but it's like there's just this thing at the very back of my mind where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't like leaving my family very much, if I'm being honest. And that does kind of distract me a little bit. And one of the reasons why I don't travel as much as I used to is I like putting my kids to bed at night. I like being there with them at night and being away from them for days on end, especially if you're like completely out of reach of them, like out of town where you couldn't even get to them if you needed to. There's a level of worry as a parent you get into, and it kind of fucks with your emotions a little bit, right? You're like, oh man, when something happens, I can't even get there really quick. Like it does screw things up a little bit. But like I said, that's normally replaced by doing those same activities with them. When you're talking about work stuff, though, that's a little different. That's harder to do.
Right. Yeah. But that is just something that I want to do with the channel so bad. So it's going to happen regardless. And I think it's just going to be one of those things that's another caveat of turning a hobby into work, right? A series that I really want to do with this other channel, the Taylor Martin channel, something I've been wanting to do for a long time is kind of like Hot Ones, right? So you take different people, doesn't have to be celebrities, definitely not from the start, but take different people like you. Take you, for instance, come down to Florida, I drag you out into the woods.
Not in Florida. Fuck that. We're going somewhere else.
Okay, you come up here.
Somewhere that doesn't have Lone Star ticks. I like steak too much.
But the idea would be, and I don't know how much I should talk about this before I actually incorporate all of it.
I
But
probably wouldn't say too much because last thing you need is somebody fucking ganking your idea.
yeah,
So I know people that like won't mention ideas on public forums until after they do them because people steal their shit.
yeah. Well, I guess I just have to be better if somebody steals it. But
Right.
take someone like you or Peter or Zach or somebody else out into the wood and teach a skill, right? Like teach them how to cook something on a campfire or how to start a fire by friction, just different outdoor skills, and just have fun while kind of incorporating that Hot Ones sort of interview style. I haven't fully fleshed out the idea, but it's something that I think there's something there. You know,
I think there's something there, man. I think that could be a cool thing. You had talked to me about that
Yeah.
month ago, before all the COVID shit hit the fan, and then all travel plans
here we
pretty much
are.
got kiboshed.
Yeah.
But
And then I bought an expensive truck that
right,
doesn't work with anything.
I definitely think it's got legs, though, man. I think you could definitely, put some thought into that and make that something really cool. Speaking of back to the Lone Star tick, one of the reasons that I said fuck camping is we were joking around about, we were going back and forth about cigars, campfires, and cigar lounges and stuff. And one of my retorts was, my lounge doesn't have no fucking Lone Star ticks, dude. Can we just talk about the Lone Star tick for a second? That is the sketchiest shit. I would almost rather get Lyme's disease than the Lone Star tick situation. I mean, it's hard to say because Lyme's disease is miserable. Well,
there's a cure for Lyme disease.
Well, there is, but like not really, man. Like if you watch like Steve Ranella and like Joe Rogan and those guys that spend a lot of time in the woods because they're like professional hunters and shit, and he talks about people that have been crippled with Lyme disease for like years and they just can't seem to get rid of it no matter what they treat it with. And there's all these systemic issues. It can be nasty.
It's one of the things that if they catch it in time, it can be either treated successfully or cured. I can't remember exactly, but it can be kind of like, they can get ahead of it and you're okay. But the scary thing about Lyme disease is that it can sit dormant in your body for 10 years. So you can get bitten by a tick tomorrow, think you're fine, and 10 years later, just bam, out of nowhere, you have all the
sick
symptoms.
As shit.
Yeah.
Well, and dude, what's worse than that is the fucking Lone Star tick.
Yeah.
If for any of you guys listening or watching,
it sounds fake. It doesn't sound like fake, a real thing.
But here's the thing. I've heard them talk about it on the Joe Rogan thing. And that dude doesn't bullshit. He's pretty good about like flushing out facts and calling stuff on bullshit. And
no, I know it's real. I have a not a mutual friend, but a friend of a friend who had it, who got bit by a Lone Star tick and can no longer process red meat. Like it's I don't know if it's an allergy or what. It just your body rejects the protein.
Right, dude. Fuck that. There is no experience of having a cigar about a campfire that is worth me never eating a steak again. If I could never eat a steak again, just put me in the ground, bro. Just throw some dirt on me and call it a day.
Jeremy
love fucking steak. Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
DEET.
Dude, DEET does not protect you all the time. Okay, I've been so fucking covered in DEET, my skin felt like it was going to fall off. I had so much burning and shit. And you still get bit by mosquitoes and stuff still happens. It definitely helps for sure, but I'm just saying, no fucking barbecue, no smoked meat, no steaks, none of that shit. Dude, could you imagine?
You could have smoked chicken.
You can't have no brisket.
Yeah, I know.
You can't have no briskets. Are delicious. I don't think you can even eat pork. I think you could only eat chicken. I don't know if it's only beef or it isn't pork. I mean, pork's white, but I think it's still considered red meat, right? Because
I don't think so.
Really? No, maybe not.
I think it's considered a poultry. I think
pork is a poultry.
No,
pork is for sure not poultry.
Oh, I don't know exactly how it's designated, but
I don't
think
know
it's
either.
technically considered a red meat. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're idiots. So somebody in the comments can tell us that we're wrong and we're stupid.
Right. But point is, I don't know if the disease that the Lone Star tick gives you covers that or what. It doesn't fucking matter because just saying I can never have a steak again bums me out. Like I'm bummed. Like whatever, it's not worth the risk to me. Like the steak is one of my favorite meals, dude. We talked about it last week. The whole steak seared out. We don't need to go whole thing, the iron skillet, the whole deal. Get you a nice baked potato, some butter, some sour cream, some cheese, some chives, some bacon.
So I do have a question.
What's that?
Could you still have lab grown meat?
Lab, like the shit that they're working on, that like they're
have you
like,
had it?
No.
No.
I'm pretty convinced that's going to start the zombie apocalypse.
It's actually really good. It's actually great. I haven't had it. When I was in Boston, my buddy Michael Fisher, who's Mr. Mobile on YouTube, he took us out to this restaurant. I don't know what it was now, but they had Impossible Burgers, and they're not like the shitty ones they have at Burger King, which, mind you, they call the Impossible Burgers at Burger King. They are Impossible Burgers, but they kind of try to promote them as a healthier option. But that shit is way worse for you than a beef burger. Like, it just isn't good. Those are the bad ones. So there's like a series 1 and a series 2 Impossible Burger. The series 2 is like refined and great. Series 1 was just like, it is like lab grown meat, but it wasn't great.
Well, is it lab grown meat though? Or is it some made up shit that's made to taste like meat, but it's not meat?
No, it's lab grown meat.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the true Impossible Burger is not a bean burger or a red meat alternative. It is a lab grown meat. Yeah, it's a thing. And
people on the podcast can't see me giving Taylor the stink eye, because I could have swore that stuff was plant based, and it had some kind of beets or some shit in it, which gave it the redness and made it look like meat. And I thought it was a plant.
Maybe it is. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of.
I don't know, because I have vegetarian relatives that eat those things, and if it was lab grown meat, I don't think they would eat it, because they're pretty against meat. Which, here's a good question. Speaking of lab grown meat, that is something I know they're working on, right? Like, that is something.
Okay, so Impossible Burger is something different. It is plant based. Okay,
I thought that was, but
I'm getting told in the comments here.
But they for sure are working on that. Right? Like, they're working on some kind of cloning of meat kind of thing. Where
lab grown meat is a thing.
It is a thing. I don't know that it's in production, but it's a thing they're working on. I'm pretty sure. I know I've seen stories about it. My question is, people who don't eat meat, vegetarians, vegans, stuff like this, because for them it's a what's the word I'm looking for?
Consenting.
Ethical. It's an ethical thing, right? Yeah, that they don't want the animal to die. Right? That something has to die for them to eat the meat. So if it's lab grown, I mean, does that
theoretically it should be fine?
I mean, does that mean vegetarians can eat that?
I don't know.
Because here's the thing. I know vegetarians and stuff and vegans that won't eat a fucking egg. And nothing has to die for you to eat an egg.
They also won't wear leather or use products that use gelatin. So it's not just about
something had to die for those things though, right? Like, I don't understand the egg thing. We've talked about this before. I don't get what the people have against the eggs. Like, what's wrong with an egg, man?
Couldn't answer that. I have no idea.
It didn't hurt nobody. They said the chicken said poop, and then you just took it. You said, thanks, chicken, and then you took it. Chickens eat their own eggs.
I mean, guinea pigs eat their own spawns, so should we just eat their spawns too?
Most animals in the wild eat their placenta, which is pretty gross.
Apparently humans also do sometimes, which is
fucking next level weird.
You could do a placenta pot roast.
Here's the deal. I've heard of people that want to keep their placenta, and they like go and like bury it or some shit, or plant a garden or some weirdness and some hippie thing. If you want to do that, it's a little odd, but okay, whatever. If you want to do that, that's your thing, go for it. But if you want to eat it, now come on, man. That's a little fucking weird, bro.
I'm good.
I'm out. I'm out on eating placenta. I'm out. I'm out.
This is taking a weird turn, Jeremy.
It is taking a weird turn, but that's because that just goes to show you people are fucking weird. There's a lot of weird people out there, man. There's people out there eating placenta.
There are definitely some weird people out there. And there are also some weird people out there who don't like camping because they're afraid of ticks.
Dude, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, that's a real thing, bro. Since the whole Lone Star thing, I have not had any interest in camping, because nothing to me is worth not ever eating a steak again. And then you hear a lot of people that are like, yeah, but it's pretty rare and whatever. I'm like, dude, If it's a 1 in 100,000 chance I'm never going to be eating with steak again, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
Well, since we are on the topic of side hustles, I mean, I obviously tried to turn my hobby into a side hustle, which was camping. That didn't work, but now I'm just trying to go back and have fun. You also have done that, but are there any hobbies that you have that you don't really put on the channel other than guns? We all know you like guns, but like,
yeah,
do you actually have any hobbies outside what we see on your channels? I genuinely don't know the answer to this. I don't think so.
I'm having to think about it.
Yeah, I think you talk about all your hobbies on your channel.
I'm a pretty avid movie buff, man. I love movies.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if that's a hobby. Some people argue. I've had people argue with me that cigars and whiskey isn't a hobby, and I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. If you don't think cigars and whiskey are a hobby, you're not fucking doing it right. Okay.
Well, they also just don't understand what the word hobby means. Then clearly,
well, right. I'm like, they're like, that's just drinking and smoking. That's not a hobby. That's just being an alcoholic. I'm like, okay, go fuck yourself with capital F.
You also got told by the EDC community when you called EDC a hobby.
Yeah, dude. There's a bunch of people EDC. Like, EDC is not a hobby. I'm like, again, if it's not a hobby, then you're not doing it the same way I do it. Because anytime you take it to the level of it being a bit of an obsessive thing, it's a fucking hobby at that point, right? Like drinking whiskey, going and buying a bottle of $19 whiskey at the liquor store every week and drinking a whiskey at night as a nightcap isn't a hobby. When you have a collection of whiskey that takes up, you have a whole room devoted to whiskey and cigars in your house, it's a fucking hobby.
Hey, if I take a picture of this cart up close enough, it looks like I have a whole lot of whiskey.
Right, exactly. You just kind of like you put it back there in the bouquet.
Yeah,
the bouquet.
It looks like a big collection.
Yeah, the bouquet.
Hey, this isn't bad for a 3-week, 4-week.
No, dude,
I went a little hard,
especially being the fact that you don't have a great selection in your area. But
yeah, shit.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty big movie buff. I really love movies. So I don't know if you'd call it a hobby, but most of the stuff I do talk about on the channel. Honestly,
are tattoos a hobby?
A lot of people consider tattoos collecting because I almost can't really consider mine that because I'm not a tattoo collector per se. And the fact that a lot of people that consider themselves tattoo collectors, they travel around the world and go to like renowned tattoo artists and they collect tattoos from all these famous people. Right.
And see, that's a hobby.
That's a hobby. At that point, then it's a hobby. Right. If
you're traveling to do something that you enjoy, it's a fucking hobby.
Right. Exactly. If you
go to Blade Show because you like knives, that's a fucking hobby.
Exactly.
EDC, that's a hobby. Yeah.
I love tattoos, so maybe you could consider it a hobby. I don't know. It's something that I've spent a lot of money on in my life. I know that. A lot of time, money, pain, and bleeding. So, I mean, if that's a factor, but I don't like travel around the world to collect tattoos from different artists and stuff. So I don't know if you would consider that a hobby or not. But oh, that was a nice one.
I was waiting on you to stop talking.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. I was looking down because I was thinking. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I do a lot of my hobbies on the channel because that's kind of my whole channel, right? That's where a lot of people have a niche channel. It's about tech or it's about, EDC or it's about surfing or whatever. My channel is kind of dude hobbies, right? Like different interests that guys are into. So I do share a lot of them on the channel. I used to surf a lot, but I don't do that anymore. So that used to be something I enjoyed doing.
It's got some spice to it after the old Port Charlotte.
Which one is that?
Ardbeg.
The Ardbeg. You almost have to say Ardbeg like a pirate. Ardbeg. Like a little bit of like a Irish pirate. Ardbeg. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff. I really enjoy smoking, like barbecuing and stuff like that. Yeah. When the weather's nice, I don't do it as much in the summer because it's just fucking miserably hot out there. But definitely in the fall and winter, I do.
I would love to get into that, but I just don't have a good place for it. Like that's the one thing about my house that I just don't like. Like our front yard is sloped, our backyard is sloped. Like there's I don't have an outdoor area where I can actually use a grill.
That's one thing. That's one thing we don't worry about in Florida is slopes because, well, I mean, the biggest hills we have in the whole state are fucking overpasses. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, it's just flat, dude. Yeah, I mean, smoking, which here's the thing though, I've considered at some point I'm going to do some smoking content on the channel. So talk about my like pork butt recipe and stuff that I do. So
to get all into side hustles or content or your main hustle, really.
I mean, there are very few.
I mean, it's so funny. We were talking about this earlier, like the differences in how we operate our channels. Like you could literally make a video about anything you wanted and people are like, sweet, keep it coming. And if I make literally anything but an EDC video, people are like, what the fuck are you doing? Get back in your corner. It's like,
well, that's somewhat true and somewhat not true, right? It is true what you say about the people on your channel for sure. For sure, you're right. I've seen firsthand people give you shit, and you are somewhat right. People have been very open and embraced a lot of different topics on my channel, so I'm very grateful for that. But part of that is because from the beginning, I was kind of all over the place, right? Like I never just did one thing, so they were never able to settle into one thing. I did do.
Oh no, I did that too.
I did do a lot of vlogs and a lot of tech early on. And when I stopped doing that, and people still say, where are the vlogs? Where's the tech? So I do get a little bit of resistance if I don't do a certain type of content for a while. But I think in general, people are pretty cool on my channel about it because I've always tried to foster kind of just like it being just a guy channel about hobbies and fun shit that dudes like, right? Whiskey, cigars, knives. Like I never wanted it to be about one thing.
Right, me either, but I had to choose because everything else wasn't working. So it's honestly very frustrating. It's something that I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night, but it just irks me that, you know, when I put in my time and effort into something I really enjoy that's not EDC, people are like, "Oh fucking K, where are the knives?
Get in your corner, bitch."
Yeah,
and I like how you said that. Get in your corner, bitch.
Yeah, it is frustrating though, because like I really enjoyed making the video that I made yesterday, uploaded it today to my second channel. I enjoyed that far more than any EDC video I've made in the last, I don't know, 6 months. You know, I've enjoyed some of the EDC videos I've made, especially like when I'm going and doing something and it's more vlog style. I enjoy that stuff a lot more. But this stuff is reliable. I can do this. It's not hard. Like I can come back here and do this. And I enjoy the stuff I'm talking about, the gear. And I still very much have a passion for that. But it is not nearly as fun sitting at this table, making videos week in and week out versus going and hanging out with Rick and building something or fixing something. You know, like it's just more fun.
Well,
so
I don't know, man. I've told you this from the beginning. Just do what you want to do. The people that people
always work.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the people that don't like it, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like the people most of the time, people who watch YouTube channels and get invested, part of it is getting invested in the person, right? Like I know a lot of the YouTube channels that I watch, I like the people, and no matter what they did, I would watch it. Right.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I watch, and it depends on the personality, right? Like there are definitely some channels that are niche channels that the people aren't terribly interesting. I'm not being mean. Right. I'm not going to mention any channels because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I love their channel. They're very informative channels, but they're not particularly.
You're talking about me, aren't you?
No. They're just not particularly entertaining people. They're very informative. They're very educational, and I appreciate what they do, but they're not the most entertaining people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if they were to do something completely non-related to what I wanted to watch, I probably wouldn't watch them because I'm watching them for the education, not for the entertainment. But I feel like if you are personable and you try to kind of form a little bit of a relationship with your audience, then I feel like, just like Peter, for instance, because of Peter's personality and the way he is, like, he could make a damn video about how to grade cheese and I would watch it. Right. Like I like Peter,
right.
You know?
Yeah. I think a lot of it also is consistency, right? Like now that I've got the audience that I've grown from scratch, like starting over. I think it has a lot to do with I haven't done this before, so people aren't used to it, and I've never been the kind of person that likes just one thing. I like a lot of different things, and focusing 100% of my time on one thing for 2.5 years has just worn me down. I want to do different stuff. So I think for me, the biggest thing is I need to start dedicating a day or two per week to doing something different. Yeah, even if it's on the best ABDC, doing something different. So like what I mean by that is have a plan to buy like a 3D printer and prototype some shit here in my office and do a video about that. So still EDC, but it's different. I think we talked about this last week, just being tired of sitting at the desk all the time.
I was just going to ask you, are there hobbies that you have you don't share on the channel? But then I forgot you probably like most of your hobbies you don't share on the channel because mostly you just do EDC stuff. But
everything. Well, no, there are some things like people in the Discord server know. People in the Discord server know I love Rocket League. I love video games. I've always loved video games. I don't play nearly as much as I used to, but I love Rocket League and I love video games. Like right now I'm playing The Outer Worlds. I just picked that up on the Switch this week.
Yeah, that's another thing that, man, I used to really enjoy when I was younger and I could just give two hot fucks about now.
But you're also a curmudgeon in your old age.
Well, I don't know what it is, man. It's just
your coordination is lacking now.
I don't know. I used to love playing Call of Duty, right? Like that was my jam, dude.
I don't play it anymore.
I loved playing Call of Duty when I was in my I don't know, my early 20s probably, I guess, when like the first Call of Duties were out and stuff. And me and my buddies would get on there and we'd drink beer and play Call of Duty and it was a good old time. But I don't know, man. I got to a point when I had kids and I got busy and stuff and I stopped kind of playing. And then I just didn't give a fuck anymore.
There are two things that make games like that not fun to me anymore.
Well, a lot of people talk shit the entire time. And it gets annoying as fuck.
One, there are a ton of tryhards. So many tryhards. Every fucking body and their brother wants to be a professional Call of Duty player or a professional streamer or whatever. So you've got a bunch of these kids just playing day in and day out and day in and day out. And they are so much better than you that even if you're jumping into a game and you're ranked with people, your rank, the base player skill is way higher than it used to be, and it's so hard. Like everything is twitch reflexes and just boom, super fast, everything. And I'm 30 years old and I've never stopped playing video games and I'm still too slow.
Yeah, I was around when video games started, bro. Like I remember, again, people are gonna call me out on this being old, but like I remember Pong and shit, right? Like the first game, it was literally like a black and white, like a fucking block and a ball, and it was just like the dink.
He also remembers when they had to play games on chisels, like chisels and stone.
But I played video games for a long, and it's not that I have anything against them. I know a lot of people that are my age that still really enjoy video games. I don't know what it was that happened where I lost my love for them. I
definitely don't like them like I used to. I definitely can't put the time in like I used to because I've got a kid. But I remember back when I worked for CNET, and Alex probably knows this now, but I don't think she knew it back then. I would get my work done by like 10 a.m. sometimes and play Rocket League all day. I would just go ham on it. And that's how I have 17 or 1800 hours in the game.
You know, something else me and my wife were talking about the other day, and I think this might have something to do with why I stopped liking video games, is they got too serious.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. Like all the tryhards.
Yeah, it got too serious, right? Like I remember playing Nintendo.
Alex just called me a motherfucker.
I remember playing I remember playing stuff like Pitfall and let's see, what are some other games back in the day? Mike Tyson Knockout, and what was the one with the fucking they had the guns with the Nintendo, Duck Hunt, right? Playing Duck Hunt, and it was just fun, man. It was lighthearted. It was fun. It was just fun. It was just fun. It wasn't any big deal. Castlevania, like I can just remember Contra. It was just fun shit. And then it got the online thing, and then it got serious, and then half the people on there are just like 8-year-old kids talking shit. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It got a little too serious, and it got a little too, and I think I lost a little bit of love for it. Like I said, I think it's amazing what they do with video games. It's a huge thing. I mean, obviously there's a ton of people that are into it. So I'm not talking any trash about it. I get it. A lot of my kids love video games.
See, I love movies. I love watching movies, but about 70% of the time, I would rather play a video game that tells a story because it's like a movie, but you're playing it.
Dude, you know what? I go back on that. I go back on what I said. There was a game that I remember. What the fuck was the name of that game? It was when games were much more serious and more developed. It was well past. I think it was on this PlayStation 2 or 3 or one. I don't even remember what fucking PlayStation they're on now. But the story, it was great. It was a horror. It was a horror game.
Oh, horror. God, I don't know how long ago you're talking, but Outlast, Resident Evil.
No. Oh fuck, what was it called?
There's a lot of horror games.
It was spooky as shit, bro. It was so good. It was deep. It was in space.
Is it Deep Space?
Was it Deep Space? Is that a game?
That might be, yeah, I think so.
Dude,
maybe.
It was all about like fucking Satan possession and shit and space, and like it was dark, and you would play in a surround sound and shit would like run past you behind you, and you're like, ah. It was the only game that would like give you the heebie-jeebs, man. It was such a fun game. Dead Space. That's what it was.
I never played that.
Dude, that game was fun as shit.
I would love.
That was the game. That was the only game that got me a little creeped out, dude. I was like, oh, what the fuck was that?
You know what I would love so much?
What
is for somehow like maybe on a Friday night live stream or something. I used to do a series called Friday Night Horror, and I would play a horror game on Friday nights. But maybe like we do a Friday night, and you have to play a game, and we get you to play Outlast. Like I'll sit here and talk, you play Outlast when we have this, but it's like a Friday night. Or, dude, I would love that so much. You squeal like a little girl.
Oh, dude, some of those games, I'm telling you,
it's a jump scare game, and it's just
and you're like, well, and especially when you play it in surround sound, right? Like I would play it in my room with my surround sound and stuff, and you turn off the lights, you get it dark, and you play it in surround sound, and the games do a really good job of like making noises behind you and shit, and then something jumps out and it scares the fuck out of you because you're totally tuned in, like waiting for something, and it does, man. It scares the shit out of you. So I'll take it back. I did. Other than the super fun duck hunts and easy going stuff, there was a couple really cool games once things got a little more serious.
I would love nothing more than that, though. When I played Outlast, I kind of got a little drunk on stream.
No.
I had a whole crowler of like a 13% beer.
Oh, Jesus, dude. You got to go easy with that, dude.
And I stood up and tried to walk out of the room, and I fell on live stream because I was so drunk.
That's awesome. That's the problem with sitting and drinking for too long. When you sit, you don't realize, and you stand up and you're like, ruh-roh. My legs got a little wobbly. Why did my legs get wobbly?
But yeah, I haven't played a lot of games in the last several years. I've played a ton of Rocket League and some other games. Like there was a racing game called Wreckfest, which was just like fucking Mullet America Demolition Derby racing. It was so fun. And then obviously Zelda Breath of the Wild. I've played some
Zelda.
games, but
that's another one. The Legend of Zelda. Come on, get the fuck out of here, dude. That was so fun back in the day. I actually got that. That's actually the last video game I played. We got like we got it for the kids, and they didn't even really like it that much. They played it for like a couple weeks and they stopped. Me and my wife thought that they would think it was awesome, and they thought it was cool, but then it was like a little.
They probably couldn't make it past the first fucking level. Like
it was like a little,
first dungeon.
It was like a little. It looked like a miniature Nintendo NES, right? It was tiny, and all the games were loaded on it.
Yeah.
And it had like Zelda, and it had it had the fucking Contra and all the shit. And dude, I did play the shit out of some Zelda for like a week. Like I loved that game. It was so fun.
Yeah.
But that was the last video game I played.
Well, I bought Red Dead Redemption 2 back when I got this PC. Because
that's like a Western or something, isn't it? Every time I see the trailers for that, it's like a dude that looks like Clint Eastwood from the.
Dude, I wanted to play it so bad, and I still have it here. I'm never at the office anymore at night, so that's when I always play video games. Is after Alex and the baby go to bed. But one, it's hot as balls in my office, so if I don't have to be here, I'm not here. But two,
Mhm.
dear God, some of these games, like I understand that Red Dead is like a cinematic game, but the cutscenes, I fucking hate cutscenes so much. And the intro to Red Dead, I put an hour and a half into the game and I wasn't through the intro. Like I still couldn't play the game. It was still like, you must walk this way, stop walking the wrong way, go this way. Like, God, an hour and a half into it, and I'm just like, this is.
You're like, I'm getting annoyed.
I never went back to it. I never went back to it.
That's funny. But yeah, but I don't know. So I'm trying to think if there's any other hobbies. I keep going back to other hobbies that
I do have another that I don't talk about much.
What's that?
Anymore. I did try to turn it into a
collecting stamps.
I did try to turn it into a business though. I tried my best.
What?
Coffee.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
I've really fallen off the horse with coffee though.
I do that on my channel though, so I can't say that's one that I don't talk about. But yeah, I'm a pretty big coffee nerd.
Yeah, I've fallen off the horse. I don't really brew at home anymore. I still have all the equipment, but I got so tired of brewing. If I had a coffee set up here and running water in this office, I would definitely brew here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have running water, and it's just too much of a hassle to have to like haul water in just so I can make coffee. It's annoying.
I'm not reading comments, but I saw but I saw one that reminded me. Was a hobby that I used to be into that I don't do anymore, but motorcycles. I had a Harley and I used to love riding motorcycles, but
I had a street bike and I flipped it.
Shoot, street bikes. Fuck street bikes, dude. I'm out.
2 days. I got it.
I'm
2
out
days
on street bikes. I'm out. I'm nothing against people that ride street bikes. I'm just out. Fuck street bikes. I was all about cruising, bro. Just chilling.
Flipped it end over end, doing about 70.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. How are you still alive? Like, what the hell?
Dude, I broke the shit out of my arm and my butt bone.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah. And it's, I think the breaking my tailbone, my coccyx.
Your cack? You broke your cack?
I think that has a lot to do with my back problems now. So I didn't hurt my back then, but I definitely broke my tailbone, and I think I sat so funny just accommodating to it for so long that I think that may have given me scoliosis, because it can come from injuries.
Oh, can it?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be genetic. Yeah.
Dude, I loved my Harley so much. It was such a pretty bike. I loved it. It was fun to ride. It sounded fucking awesome. I loved it. But not to get too much into it, we had a death in the family because of a motorcycle. Somebody had died on a motorcycle. Like I said, I don't want to get too into it because it's kind of a personal thing and you don't want to share too much. I might have mentioned it on the internet before, but anyway. But then after that happened, every time I went out on my motorcycle, my wife was super paranoid, and rightly so, right? Like,
yeah.
So every time I would go out on my bike, then I felt really bad because I'm out like having a good time and my wife's at home like a nervous fucking wreck. So it got to be where I felt bad about it. And I was like, you know what? So then I stopped riding it, and then it sat in my garage for months and months. And
I still have my motorcycle at home.
Yeah. So I eventually sold it
for years.
I had to say it hurt when I sold my Harley though, dude. It hurt my heart a little bit because I love that bike a lot. But maybe one day I'll go back to it. I'd love to, but I kind of want to, in a way, me and my uncle were actually talking about this day. He has a podcast where they do all bike stuff. I kind of wouldn't mind like rebuilding a really old Triumph.
See, I wanted to build what do they call them? Not a street racer. What's it called? I can't remember what they call them now.
What, Indian? What are you talking about?
No. It's a street bike, but it's kind of like an older, but what do they call it? I can't remember what they call them. But they basically take all the fairings off and they're skeletonized and
like a bobber?
No, I can't remember what it's. People are
saying cafe racer?
People are saying cafe racer, but that's not what they're called. It's not a cafe racer. I can't remember.
I don't know. I like cafe racers and I like bobbers.
Cafe racers are cool.
I like bobbers. I like old Triumphs. I like all that shit. I would love to do something like that. But like I said, if I got young kids, and I've had too many people that have been hurt really bad too many people that have been really hurt badly on motorcycles, and have people in my family have died on motorcycles. And I don't know. It's just one of those things that even though I love it, like at this point in my life, I'm just like, I'll wait.
A cafe racer is close, but that is not. Is a Street Fighter? It's a Street Fighter. That's what I was.
Is it?
Yeah, somebody said it, but I'll show you a little picture of a Street Fighter. It's very similar to a cafe racer, but just like a little more modern, I guess.
Have you seen those bikes that fucking Keanu Reeves makes? Oh
No.
yeah. See, street bikes just sketch me out, bro.
I loved mine, but also,
but they're just
killed me.
They're meant for one thing: hauling ass. Like, and it's super sketchy.
No, they're meant for two things: hauling ass and donating organs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a Harley, you could just cruise, bro. You just go out on a nice day and just enjoy a nice backcountry road and just enjoy the good weather and the freedom. And it's a beautiful thing. You don't gotta.
You don't have to tell me. I know. I loved riding. I loved it. But two things,
dude. Have you seen the Keanu Reeves bikes though? Before we get off of that. Like, no. Pull those up, dude. Those fucking bikes. If you like those bikes that you just pulled up, you'd probably really like his bikes. Now they're probably crazy expensive.
These things are kind of hideous.
What, dude? Those things are fucking awesome. What do you mean they're hideous? Those things are dope. I don't even like those kind of bikes, and I think they're awesome. I think they're called like. I'm sure somebody's saying it.
They're kind of hideous. Yeah, they're kind of hideous.
No, dude, what? That's not even the best looking one. But no, they're not hideous. What do you mean? Those things are fucking pimp.
Yeah, I don't like them.
The
lines are funny.
Oh, dude, supposedly they're badass too. Like he's a big motorcycle guy. Like this isn't just some famous guy that's like, oh, I want to get into the motorcycles. Like he's big into motorcycles. He loves them.
Sorry, but that is not attractive. The lines are really weird on it.
Oh, dude, I think it's dope. I think it's dope.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, opinions like assholes. Everybody's got one. They usually stink. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them things. But my favorite bike is still a Harley. I love a Sportster.
Yeah, I loved I loved it at the time, but I did wreck it like 2 days after I got it, which kind of sullied it for me a little bit. But
dude, bikes are scary, bro.
Two of the issues I have today, I'm pretty sure both of them came from the motorcycle. One being my back and the other being my shoulder. Yeah. So I tried to Evel Knievel my motorcycle into the back of a U-Haul because I didn't have any other options. So long story short, we were in Pennsylvania. We had to move out in 2 days, and it was just me and Alex, and we were loading all of our goods, loading everything we owned, all of our possessions into a U-Haul. And before we got it full, I was like, I need to get the motorcycle in here, and we can pack around the motorcycle. And we tried pushing it up the ramp, and we could only get it about halfway up the ramp by ourselves, or like with me and Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it'd been sitting for about, I don't know, 8 months, a year. I kind of figured the carburetor was probably a little gunked up. And
it went bad. It went
real bad. I cranked it. I let it run for a while. Just let it go. Let it run. It was running just fine. Sit there and give it some throttle. Never sputtered once. And I told Alex, I was like, just stay here. Just back up a little bit. And I mean, I've ridden motorcycles into the bed of a truck a bunch. Four-wheelers, motorcycles, whatever. I've done it a bunch.
Four-wheelers are fun as shit to get in and out of trucks, dude. What? But that was the other thing, hobby that I used to do a lot that I sold because I just didn't have time to do it as much. And it was just taking up too much space in my garage. I used to really enjoy riding ATVs, four-wheelers.
Yeah,
oh, shit.
I hit the ramp. The ramp was kind of steep and a little long. And I hit it, got one wheel in the truck, and the engine died.
Oh, no.
And I had nowhere to put my feet. I mean, I'm on a ramp. I didn't have anywhere to put my feet, and my car was right to my right. Yep. So I reached up and I grabbed the handle on the back of the U-Haul, and I held the bike with my left hand, and it pulled my arm up back behind my head. My shoulder popped out.
Yeah.
And I tore my AC joint.
That's not a good day. That's not a good day.
Sucked. And it still hurts today. So
yeah, that's a bad day. It's sketchy getting motorcycles in and out of a truck with a ramp. It's sketchy. It's sketchy at best. Four-wheeler never bothered me, dude.
Yeah.
I just rode that bitch up in there, and just as long as you make sure the ramps are good and stable, you don't want to kick one of those ramps out from underneath you while you're going up and then go. But
see, I grew up on dirt bikes and 4-wheelers and stuff, and I miss it so much. That was one of my favorite things to do as a kid, and that's something that I want Eleanor and Flynn to do is ride dirt bikes and 4-wheelers. I want them to have that. So
I had what was it? A Yamaha 5. It was a Foreman, but I forgot what size. 5 something.
I had a Blaster.
I had a Yamaha Foreman. I can't remember if it was a 550 or 5. I can't remember what. It's been a while, but dude, that thing had big ass mud and tires on it, a snorkel and shit. We'd take that damn thing out and bury it in mud. It was so fun to go out and mess around. And then at the same time, when you're not out in mud and you could just take it out in the woods, that thing would go over anything. Right. It was 4-wheel drive. I mean, you literally could go over anything. It was such a fun thing just to go out in the woods and play around with. But
well, to go back to the motorcycle, the good news is when I was falling, I grabbed the brake, kept the front wheel in the truck, and I was able to get it the rest of the way in there before my arm totally, what happened actually
detached from your body.
Yeah. So we did at least get it in the truck. But I'm like, I might need to go sit down for a minute. My arm kind of hurts. And I was like, might need to go get me some ibuprofen, but I think I'll be good. And Alex was going to get me some ibuprofen, and I lifted my arm up. And when I did this, it popped out again. And I just felt it. My arm went numb and dropped. And when it dropped, it popped back in.
You're like,
and I'm just
that's
like,
going to be sore.
Ow.
That's going to hurt.
And I was like,
that's going to hurt.
I'll be back. I'm going to get a shower and then I'll feel okay. And I went to the bathroom. I took my shirt off and my collarbone's sitting up like this. And I'm just like, fuck.
Fuck.
So yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I came back and loaded the rest of our belongings into the truck with a busted arm. It was great.
Yeah.
Great day.
That just doesn't sound like a good day. Nothing about that day sounds good.
Nothing about it was.
Nothing about that day sounds good.
That and the day following were the worst 2 days of my life. Easily. No question about it. Horrible.
That's aggressive.
And the 2 luckiest days. Honestly, I'll tell you about it sometime, but yeah, honestly, very, very lucky days. It was
you're lucky you didn't drop the whole fucking bike, if I'm being honest, because
trust me, the next day could have been far, far worse.
Oh, dude, Jesus.
I'll just give you the cliff notes. I'll give you the cliff notes.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that day, like I said, we were moving on 2 days' notice. So we rented a U-Haul, got a car carrier for my car. So I had a white F-150, I had an FRS, and then we had the U-Haul. So we were driving from Pennsylvania to Charlotte, which is about 500 miles. And Alex was driving my F-150, and I was driving the U-Haul with my FRS on the car carrier behind it. So we had a 30-foot U-Haul with all our belongings and my FRS and a white truck. And it took us until, I want to say it was like 2 or 3 a.m. to finish packing. And we had to be out of the house and gone by 7 a.m. so that we could make it to Charlotte in time to get the keys to get into the new apartment. And it's about a 10-hour drive. So we didn't have much time.
I
think I told you about
Go ahead. Yeah, you've told me this. It just clicked that I'm going, oh yeah. Go ahead though. Sorry.
I don't know if we said it on the podcast or what. I feel like I've told it before, but the short of it is I woke up. So we went to bed at like 2 or 3. I think I woke up at 4 or 5 to get everything ready to go. So I slept about an hour. I couldn't take my pain meds because I had to drive home. They prescribed Vicodin and I couldn't take it and drive. So
yeah, probably not a good idea.
I popped a Stumptown cold brew and got everything hooked up. I checked the trailer. I drove the car onto the car carrier. The best part was I drove the car onto the car carrier and I opened the door and I couldn't get out of the fucking door because the fender, the side rail
was hitting the wheel well.
Yeah. So
you're like,
I had to roll the window down, climb out through the window, and then hit the window up button and close it. And I'm like, I have no fucking clue how I'm getting back in that car. No clue. So attach the truck or the trailer to the truck, check it like 6 times, and we leave at like 6:50, just in time. And actually, before we got off the road, I stopped and checked the trailer again because I'm like, this shit, I need this. I do not need any problems going home. And before we got too far down the road, I popped the second cold brew, and I'm like feeling it, just like fucking wired. just jittery and
Vibrating.
driving a 30 foot truck one-handed because I can't use my other arm.
Mm-hmm.
Get to Charlotte without any problems. We get there just in time to get the keys. And when we get there, Alex's dad's waiting on us. And he said, look, I'll get your car. Don't worry about it. Like, you go rest. So he gets in the car, puts it in reverse, and starts to back off the trailer. First, we realized that the straps for the wheels, one of them was completely off the wheel. So it was only held on by one strap. And when he's backing the car off the trailer rears up and hits the U-Haul. It detached. It wasn't even attached to the truck. It was loose.
Oh shit! Yeah, that could have been super bad, bro.
And if you know anything about U-Hauls, your car insurance is what covers that U-Haul.
Mm-hmm.
Found out the day after I got back that my insurance had lapsed 2 days prior.
Oh wow!
So I had no insurance on the U-Haul or my car or anything. And the car was on a trailer that was very loosely attached to the truck, and the tire strap wasn't even attached. Like, dude, that fucking day could have gone horribly.
Yeah, that could have been horrific. That could have been a super bad day.
I would have literally been financially ruined forever.
Man.
Like, that would have been, if anything happened, like that would have been it. It would have been done.
Well, hey man, it wasn't meant to be, right? I don't know if you believe in fate, but it obviously wasn't meant for that shit to go that bad for you that day. So Lady Luck was on your side.
Yeah, that was I never want to relive a day like that. So
no, that doesn't sound like a good day at all. Moving in general just sucks, bro.
On the bright side, everything has been on the up and up since, and everything's been taken care of. Everything's been great. It's going great. Knock on fucking wood.
Right. Just don't get bit by a Lone Star tick.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. That ruins it. That ruins the outdoors for me a little bit. At least I hear they're worse in the Northeast. I don't know if that's true. I know they came from Texas.
I know they're migrating east and north, but I don't know where all they are now. I'm sure it's a pretty easy Google search away. Lone Star tick location. This is how we Google things. Hey, look at this. This will make you feel really good about everything, Jeremy.
Oh God, they're probably everywhere. I'm just staying in my backyard with the palm trees.
Oh, this is a really low quality screenshot, but here we go. These aggressive ticks. Let's see if we can get a better picture.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty awesome. So basically, I need to move to Colorado.
The moon.
No, Colorado. It looks like Colorado was square. Yeah, Colorado's not in that unless my geography's way off. Yeah, Colorado's way over there.
Yeah.
I just need to move to Colorado. We're good. Florida's in there. Yeah. So
I have definitely seen these in North Carolina. The defining feature is that white spot.
Dude. Yeah. See, fuck that tick. Fuck that tick. Fuck everything about that tick. Everything about that tick. Fuck it. I'm out. I mean, could you imagine never eating a steak again the rest of your life?
It would suck. It would definitely suck.
Be horrible. Horrible. I love steak. I love it. Probably too much. Too much red meat supposedly isn't great for you. But then again, there's also bullshit about that, right? Like one article you read says red meat, you hear all these motherfuckers eating egg white omelets and shit. And then 5 years later, they're like, food doesn't really affect your cholesterol. Eat all the eggs you want. It's like, okay, well then what the hell? Like how do you know what's what? But
nobody knows anything for sure. Nobody.
For sure. It changes.
Dude, I remember them when I was growing up. There was a story on the news, and I'll never forget
when I was
it.
Growing up, cigarettes were healthy. They gave them for like weight loss, right? Like it was like a healthy thing doctors prescribed. So yeah.
Like I remember, like I hated potatoes growing up. Hated them.
Really?
Hated them. I don't know why. I love them
chips?
now. I love potatoes. I hated potatoes in general. French fries, potatoes, everything.
Potato chips?
Yeah, I hated all of it.
Wow, that's fucking crazy.
And I remember when I finally came around to liking potatoes, I was just sitting in my living room one day, and there was a news story on the television, and they're like, "Potatoes give you cancer," and I'm just like, "Cool." Right. Now I like these things, and they're gonna kill me. You know,
that's too
potatoes
funny,
don't
man.
cure cancer. Like it's just,
I mean, you're going to die from something, right? Like if there's one thing common, none of us are getting out of this alive. Right. So, I mean, but at the same time, you want to prolong that as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, definitely.
We should probably start doing some comments though, because it's been 2 and we always like to do a little bit, even though we kind of did a little bit of a Q&A earlier, but we should probably, you weren't here. So,
well, there's one thing that I would like to have as a hobby, and this is going to be dumb. One thing I really love is fishing. I don't do it nearly as much. I do love fishing.
Another one. See, here's the thing, man. I'm so busy nowadays. Like, there's a lot of hobbies that I've forgotten that I used to do a lot that I really don't do anymore. I used to fish a ton. I mean, I live in Florida, surrounded by fucking water. But I don't really do it anymore.
Yeah, it's something I'd like to get back into, but this is dumb. But
shrimping, we used to shrimp.
I would love to have just some fucking crazy, overpriced, decked out RC car for no reason other than it's kind of fucking sweet.
I had an uncle that was into that for a while, and they had the gas powered ones and shit. And those things they haul ass. They haul so much ass. It's kind of fun.
What am I gonna do with it? Probably fucking let it sit in the closet with dust on it, but I want one.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of things that I say I would like to do, but I'm so busy I don't. Like, I kind of would like to get fucking, what are those things called?
A canoe?
A paddleboard? A paddleboard? You stand on it. I see people going out and they paddleboard. It looks like a nice time. It's good exercise. You go out on the water, you enjoy it. You know, it's good. Shit like that sounds fun. There's like these little, I forgot what they're called. There's these little like fishing canoe type things they sell that I always seem like kind of a fun thing to do. But
I want I guess it's called a Hobie, like a foot pedal kayak.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like that.
I want that.
Fun. I would really like to go to the gun range a lot more. You know, I mean, I enjoy firearms. I enjoy shooting. I don't go near as much. I used to go like every single week. I have a gun range not far from me, and I had a membership. So every weekend I would go to the gun range for years. I don't have a lot of time for a lot of that shit anymore, unfortunately.
There's a lot of stuff I'd like to do, but I just don't. But there are definitely things that as my kids get older, I definitely will make it a thing. I just absolutely have to. And Alex's uncle has aunt and uncle. They have a house at the lake, and they're like, we got a place to store your jet skis if you get some jet skis. And I'm like, okay. The jet skis are fun as shit.
Jet skis are fun. That reminded me of another one. Guitars. I have guitars hanging in here. I used to play guitar, and then I had kids, and I got too busy, and I got really rusty, and I didn't play for a long time. And man, let me tell you something. Playing a guitar is not like riding a bike. If you don't play for 7 or 8 years, you pick it up, you can't play worth a shit. Like, my fingers forgot all the chords. They forgot everything. So,
dude, I used to play bass, and I couldn't play a single fucking thing right now if I wanted to.
Well, I hung my guitars in here in this room on purpose because I was like, you know what? If I hang them, they were in the closet. I was like, I want to get back into practicing. They're out of sight, out of mind. I hung them in here so I would be staring at them. So I would start practicing again. So I would get back, get it back. Did it for like a month, and then I got busy, and then I haven't picked them up in like probably 2 months because I've just been too busy. But
the building thing, I used to build shit and make shit all the time. That is something that I will be doing more of, because that's like, I'm rebuilding the trailer I showed you earlier from the ground up. I talked about that in the video I uploaded today. I'm rebuilding it. I'm painting it, putting a lid on it, like doing all sorts of stuff. And that's something that I want to do with the Taylor Martin channel more than anything. Camping is fun. All this other stuff that I do is fun, but I want to build shit.
Yeah, I did. That was one that I did share a little bit out on the channel, so I didn't mention it, but I don't do much of it anymore either. Again, too busy, but I did used to do a fair share of woodworking. I would build, I used to really like to build stuff out of pallet wood, strangely enough. That was kind of like a thing. I could sell them easily and make a little side money back in the day. But it was fun to like get old reclaimed wood and build stuff out of it. I used to enjoy doing that.
Well, yeah, let's get to some questions. Just have to click on this because, dear God.
Yeah, dude. How are you not a guitar player with that name, by the way?
Dude, neither one of my parents have anything to do with music. Like they're just not musically inclined. My mom could sing, but nobody in my family plays instruments at all.
I have good guitar hands, man. I have very long fingers, so I can.
I have short, fat fingers. I am not made to play the guitar.
I can reach. I can hit some shit that most people couldn't reach because I have like alien fingers. They're very long, thin fingers. So I have good guitar fingers, and they're not. I don't have terribly like stubby fingers, so it's easier for some chords where you're like having to cram in a lot of fingers in a fret. Like I can fit.
Yeah, I have short, stubby fingers. Like literally the worst.
But you can get past it. I have an uncle that has short, stubby fingers, and that dude can fucking wail on a guitar, bro.
Like,
he can play bar chords like nobody else because that finger's so thick. He's whack. He lays that thing down.
I did love playing bass, though. I loved it. I'd love to have another bass, but I just haven't played in probably 15 years. Kind of makes me sound so old.
Dude, somebody said Martins are super nice acoustic guitars, dude. They're really nice. I kind of in between Martins and I really like Taylors are nice too, though, man. Like I'm kind of on the fence about, but I don't have either one. My acoustic guitars aren't very expensive. I have an Alvarez, which I don't even know if Alvarez still makes guitars. I think they do. I don't remember. And then I have an Ibanez. They're not very expensive acoustic guitars. And then I have a Les Paul and a Strat for electric guitars. I actually enjoy playing both. I like playing acoustic guitars, but I don't know. I think electric guitars are a little easier to play for sure because
here's a really good question. What's the most niche YouTube channel you're into? Do you have one?
Niche. That's a good question. Hey, Terry, what's up, buddy? Terry Dolan. I've seen him in here. He's been here for a while. He's my man.
That's a tough question, to be honest.
I mean, probably a lot of like the whiskey channels that I watch. Cause I mean, really all they talk about is whiskey. That's pretty niche. Like they don't venture off. Like even with you, your channel's niche, right? Cause the EDC, but you talk about knives and pry bars and keychains and wallets and watches and like all kinds of stuff. Like whiskey channels just talk about whiskey, right? Like that's it.
I have to say, I think the weirdest thing, it's definitely a niche, but the weirdest thing I watch is Andy Strock or Andrew Strock. He's a skateboarder. He owns Revive Skateboards. I don't watch any of his other videos, but he has a series called Warehouse Wednesdays. I don't know why I have to watch it every week. I have no idea. But basically, they pull in either a pro skater or a Revive employee or someone, and they put them through a gauntlet every Wednesday, and they have to do all these different challenges. It's just a cool series. It's stupid. It's fun. It's usually more often than not, it's dumb. It's really dumb, but it's a lot of fun to watch. Alex is like, "Oh, why are you watching this?" But I don't know. But Warehouse Wednesday is such a great series. It just is.
I'm trying to think of, I mean, the whiskey guy, Terry works with the guys from Whiskey Vault, Whiskey Tribe. If you didn't know, great YouTube channel. If you guys have never seen it, if you've seen me, you've most likely for sure seen the Whiskey Tribe, Whiskey Vault guys. But I don't know if maybe that would be my answer to that. Also, the slow-mo guys, I like their channel. That's pretty fucking niche.
Yeah, slow-mo is great.
It's just slow-mo. I mean, that's like super niche, right?
Gavin and Dan together are just such a great team.
They are. They're funny as shit.
Really
and some of the stuff looks really cool in slow motion. Like some of that shit is pretty awesome. So I don't know. I guess maybe those might be my answers. I don't know. I say that and I'll be going through my YouTube subscriptions later and be like, oh, that's a fucking channel about how to shine antique coins. And like, that's super niche, but or something weird like that. But
speaking of series, I don't think they've done this in a long time, but Bon Appetit has a guy named, what's his name? Oh no, what's his name? I have to click on Bon Appetit.
Dude, speaking of why you're clicking that up, this is kind of niche, I guess. And there's something strangely satisfying. Have you watched any of the channels where the guys like get the old rusty, completely destroyed shit and refurbish it? Like they'll find an old Zippo from like 30 years ago in the bottom of the ocean. And you look at it and you're like, there's no fucking way you could bring that thing back. And then they show the whole process and they bring that bitch back to looking brand new. And you're like, holy shit. There's something crazy satisfying about that, by the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you, but I just thought about that.
Brad Leone. That's his name. He had a series. Actually, just about anything Brad does is amazing. He's a cook. a culinary artiste, but he had a series about campfire cooking. And that was one of the things that just got my mind turning on that. But he was just showing how to do it. But he's just so funny. He riffs with his camera guy, who's Vinny. I don't know if his name's really Vinny, but he always calls him Vinny. And they're riffing together is just so great. Brad is one of the funniest guys on YouTube, and he's highly underrated. Highly.
Well, and that's what I was talking about earlier with, like, you kind of get invested in the person as much as you do the content. You know what I mean? You get invested with that person. And I feel like even if they did something different, you would probably still want to see what the hell they were doing.
Yeah. Here's a good question.
Oh God, sorry. No, death to that. We have to, I will go back to that. I apologize. You just clicked on that, but somebody mentioned something that my wife watches and I fucking hate them with everything in my being, but go ahead.
What is that? What do you hate?
The zit popping channels, dude.
Oh, fuck that.
I can't. It fuck makes that. Me. I'm like, ugh, ugh, I cannot, like, because my wife's a nurse, so she's into like all the gross shit, like surgery channels and stuff like that.
Likes it too, and she has a very queasy stomach sometimes. I don't know how she can watch it.
I can't.
I saw one where a woman, like, it looked like she scooped fucking mayonnaise out of a guy's
dude. See,
back,
that's weird. Like I can't. I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. I could disembowel an animal and not have blood and guts and pulling the fucking sack out of a deer. I'm fine. You watch somebody scoop some mayonnaise looking shit out of some boil on some dude's neck, and I'm like, like I can't do it, man.
Here's some custard for your donut.
Dude, I can't. Like, you're gonna make me fucking start dry heaving just thinking about it. Like, I'll walk by the computer and she's watching somebody squeeze a blackhead that looks like a fucking snake 6 inches long coming out, and I'm like, oh Jesus. Why the fuck are you watching this? What the?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
No, dude. She's a nurse and she's into that shit, but I can't do it. I can't.
Anyway,
do it.
Randall Oaks asks, how do you get into whiskey? I can't stomach the taste of neat whiskey, but I love all types of beers. Also, congrats, Jeremy, on the cigar success.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Easy question to answer. Get some double oaked, some Woodford Reserve double oaked. And if you can't drink this, in the words of Jeremy Sires, you're probably not going to like whiskey.
Yeah. What you could do, man, is you could get some double oaked. That's legit. Get some double oaked. Try it neat. If you still can't stomach it, put it on put some water in it and an ice or some ice cube and get acclimated to the flavors, and then slowly work yourself down. Right. So start with an ice cube, drink that for a little while. Once you're really comfortable and you're enjoying that, then maybe take the ice cube out and just add a little bit of water. Try to, get used to that, and then work your way up to neat. When I first started drinking whiskey, I didn't drink it neat.
I didn't either, because I was drinking like fucking Jameson's.
Well, for the longest time, I always drank it with a big ice cube. I just liked it with a big ice cube. And I was
drinking Jameson's and I can't even think of what is it?
Right. Jameson.
I'm thinking of like
Irish whiskey.
Well, not just Irish whiskey, but like the big whiskey that
Jack Daniels.
I was drinking Jack Daniels and Jim Beam and Jameson's, and they're all like harsh. I can't get down with that. So
yeah, I would say, I still on a hot day will put a nice big fat ice cube in certain whiskeys. Once you get used to drinking whiskey neat, then when you put an ice cube in some whiskeys, they go way too flat, and it's like, But some whiskeys hold up really well to an ice cube on a hot day, and they're really good. But just warm into it. You might just not be a whiskey guy though, man. Some people just aren't. But I have found that a lot of people, if you start off kind of that progression I said, you'll kind of develop a taste for it and you'll really enjoy it.
You know what? I think Jeremy can agree with me on this. Forget whiskey and just drink White Claw.
Yeah, completely.
Zachary Mobus says, any recommendations for a wood-made watch brand? I don't know of any that are worth buying.
I don't know.
Most of the ones that I've seen
look cool, but they're probably hunks of shit.
Yeah, I don't know of any that are made well. They're mostly just Chinese products that are made very poorly with a brand stamped on them, and that's in my experience, that's all I've ever seen. So I don't know. There might be one or two brands that do well, but I'm not familiar with them.
Terry Dolan, he's a good whiskey guy. I was seeing if he had any suggestion about the whiskey. Trent Palmer's another good one too. Okay, never mind.
Oh, Alex said, Taylor, there's a hobby you forgot about. Used to skateboard. That was another hobby that just about killed me, so I had to stop.
Yes, That should keep you in shape though, man. If you skateboard a lot, you'll be in good shape. That burns some calories.
I would bomb stairs. I would hit handrails. I loved it. I was having a lot of fun. And the ollie, a single ollie, just about killed me. I ollied and landed on a rock, and the board shot out from under me, and my head smacked the ground.
One credit card, dude. One credit card, and I'm out. I'm like, done.
Oh yeah. Credit cards are great, but
one credit card. I was like, you know what? Skateboarding's not for me. I'm out. Fuck this. I'm done.
Seriously, had minor brain damage, and it still affects me today. Like memory loss stuff, just fucks with me. Here's another. Taylor also sang in a hardcore band as well, right? Yes, I did.
Forgot all about that.
Did some vocals for a while too. I've done a lot of different weird stuff.
Johnny B says Dalmore 12 would be that'd be a good starter. Dalmore's pretty mellow. There's several scotches that are good starters. Monkey Shoulder, Dalmore 12, that Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask is really pretty damn approachable. So, I mean, just go out there and try a few different whiskeys, man. Maybe you're just not hitting the right one.
Joshua Weissman. This is Terry Dolan, your friend here, says that I should check out Joshua Weissman because he's got a similar vibe to Brad. Seriously, guys, if you don't know who Brad Leone is, go check him out. But Joshua Weissman.
Dude, talking about YouTubers, have you ever watched Camera Conspiracies?
No.
Oh my God, dude, that guy's so fucking funny. He's such a weird guy. He makes me laugh.
This is true. Taylor watches a lot of cringe compilations. I watch cringe compilations, idiot driver compilations, Karen compilations, Karen man compilations.
The funniest one you ever sent me was the lady that was filling up plastic grocery bags with gas.
Yeah,
she was putting gas into like fucking like grocery bags, like the thin plastic grocery bags that you get like at the store. This lady was pumping gas into grocery bags and then putting them in her trunk. And I'm like, this bitch is going to be on fire in about 30 minutes.
I thought there was no way it would be real. Like there was no, I thought it had to be set up or something, but nothing.
I feel like that's more of a Darwin Awards video, right? Like, I feel like that's Darwin Awards kind of cracked me up. Somebody asked me if I've ever seen Nomad Journal. Yes, a lot of the journals I use are Nomad journals. Let's see. What are there? Anybody else got questions? Make Friday night hangouts more than once a month. Love the show. We would, and we may. It just depends on if we can get into a rhythm with these podcasts and stuff. We're kind of playing things by ear and trying to figure out what the best format is. The problem with, answering comments the entire video is we love the interaction. It's really fun to, kind of do this. Hold on. Oh, is this the lady?
Yeah.
I can still talk while look, dude, look at the gas pouring out of the bottom of that fucking bag. What are you doing? Like how, in what fucking world does that seem like a good idea? Like,
what is she doing with it? What is she going to do with it when she gets to wherever she's going?
I don't know. It's so bad. It's so bad.
But it's okay because she double bagged it.
Yeah.
Her car probably smelled like gasoline for a month. You just see it pouring out everywhere.
Dude, like seriously.
Never in my life. I just don't understand.
Look, she's taking it. She's going to put it in there. She's going to do it.
Like not in a bucket or anything. She just puts it in the trunk of her car.
Oh, she's going to triple bag it. I think she's got a third bag. Yep. Just put it in the trunk. I think she's laying a bag down to set it on because that knot she tied in the top, I'm sure is watertight.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking A, man. It's amazing. Man. Like, I don't understand. Like, please tell me that person did not procreate. Like, the scary part is those people like that have people. They make other people, and those people are responsible for other people's lives. That just scares me so bad. Such a bad thing. Such a bad thing. Let's see.
Pain Olympics. Oh my God. Alex just mentioned Pain Olympics. That was rough. You probably don't remember that. That was probably after your time.
Dude, all I know is the one that gets me, I'm telling you, is the one that the boils and the pimples and I can't do it, man. It gags me straight up. Like I can't, and I have a pretty good stomach with gore, but like if it's like a bodily fluid or like pus or something, I can't. I'm out. I can't. Grosses me out.
Pain Olympics. I think it's still to this day disputed what of it was real and what was fake. I thought it was all fake, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was real, but there was another one called I can't remember. It was about people dying. It was like a documentary or something about people dying, and it showed a bunch of real death. That one was heavy.
Who wants to watch that shit?
That was heavy. That came out when I was in high school, and
I don't want to watch that.
Dude, it was rough. But Pain Olympics was like genital mutilation and all sorts of other shit.
No, dude, no.
Faces of Death. There we go. Yeah, Faces of Death.
No, I've seen Faces of Death. I've seen it for about 5 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I'm out. Yeah. I watched one where these people were like beating this monkey in the head, and I was like, dude, this is just fucking cruel. Why the hell do I want to watch? Why do people want to watch this shit? I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to see that.
Right. No, I don't know if Faces of Death was fake, but I think Pain Olympics was. I can't remember. I don't know.
Oh, dude, people keep mentioning bot flies. That's another one I can't do.
Dude, fuck bot flies. No.
One more reason why you don't need to be outside, Taylor. I'm just saying. Fuck outside.
Oh my God. Outside is great. Okay.
Outside is. I'm kidding. Like I said, dude, on a nice afternoon, I love sitting out by the pool with the palm trees. I got a bunch of palm trees in my backyard, and the tiki torch is going, and the wind's blowing the palms. Well, you got to be careful saying wind in the palms, because with the hurricanes that can be bad. But a gentle breeze in the palms, I should say. 2 girls, 1 cup. I think that was fake too, actually. I mean, well, okay, It wasn't fake in the fact that it was definitely a substance coming out of that chick's ass into a cup, and then they were eating it, which was disgusting. But I think there was something stuffed in there prior to the video. It wasn't poop. I don't think.
It doesn't matter at that point.
Surely anything coming out of somebody's ass, you don't want to eat it for sure.
It doesn't matter what it was.
But it's for sure better if it was something put in there than if it was actual fecal matter, right? Like that's next level. Like I think you could die from that, right?
I think they're both pretty fucking gross.
They surely are, but I mean, I think you can die from eating poop, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, these questions that you guys have for us are fantastic.
Dude, did you see that time that, speaking of when Bear Grylls squeezed the water out of the elephant shit?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
I thought it was moss in a camel's stomach contents.
He did that too. But one time he found a big, fresh, steaming pile of elephant poop, and he was talking about how the digestive vegetative matter in elephant poop has a lot of liquid still in it, and he squeezed it, and it was oh, dude, it was rough, bro. It was rough.
Wow.
Yeah. Goes back to like the things that get me, right? There's a few things like that. I'm like,
well then.
I'm about to nope on out of here.
I saw someone else mention earlier that Bear Grylls has a similar series where he takes people camping. I am not familiar with it, but I'd be happy to look into it and see it. I think that'd be cool. What I want to do, I think, is probably going to be a little different from that, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I didn't know he had anything. So.
He had that thing where he took like famous people and did almost like a Bear Grylls shows with famous people.
Right. I don't mean that. I mean like take them out to, a dispersed campsite and just have some camping for a few days. I think that's a little different.
Steve Sheehan, I think is how you pronounce that. I'm squinting because it's kind of far away. Favorite cigar tool? It's kind of a mix up between the Modus and the one you mentioned right below that, which is the Perfect Draw. I like the Perfect Draw way better for clearing a clogged cigar, but I like the Modus for kind of a multi-purpose tool because it's got a nubber, it's got a draw tool, and it's got a punch on the bottom. So if I'm like going out, I can just take that, and I've got a way to cut the cigar, I've got a way to clear a draw and a nubber all in one. But for clearing a stiff draw, that Perfect Draw is the winner, man. That thing's a champ.
I really enjoy watching Alone. I do too. I think it's a really great show. And now I've met and know a few people from the show, which is just really cool. And here's another one, Coyote Peterson. I used to watch his channel.
Everything.
He used to. I used to love watching him, but I don't really watch him anymore. Brave Wilderness has just kind of taken on a different vibe, and I really, truly respect what they do. But I think it's geared towards a younger audience, and it doesn't pull me in anymore. It was the stings that really drew me in to begin with. The stings and the bites.
Got bit by like the bullet ants and all the things, right?
Dude, he's a fucking maniac. He tied he taped some dowel rods to his arm and got an alligator snapping turtle to bite his arm. Fuck that.
Nope.
Fuck that. Fuck it.
I tell you another fuck that, and y'all can call me a pussy if you want to. Don't care.
He's afraid of bugs.
Not afraid of bugs. Matter of fact, I'm the designated bug killer in my house because everybody in my house for some reason is afraid of deathly afraid of palmetto bugs. Like if a palmetto bug gets in the house, which I don't know how many places have palmetto bugs. I think that's very Florida.
That is.
A palmetto bug is basically a roach, but they don't live like you don't have to worry about getting a palmetto bug infestation in your house, right? Palmetto bugs are outdoor insects. They don't want to be indoors, right?
Right.
But they also fly, unlike cockroaches, and they can get like that long. So, I mean, they can get like, it's like a flying roach that can get like this big. They're fucking huge. And everybody in my family, except for me, is terrified of the damn things, including my 15-year-old son. He'll kill anything, but if one of those gets in the house, he's like, Dad, there's a fucking palmetto bug in the house. You're gonna have to come kill it. So, but they are gross, dude, because you step on them, they snap. And you talk about Dr. Pimple Popper. It's like this white goo shit just goes everywhere. I mean, they are very full of a white goo. It's pretty nasty.
You know what gets me though? The bug that like ticks, I fucking hate them. I hate mosquitoes. But the bug that wigs me out the most, pun definitely intended, is a fucking earwig. Fucking earwigs, dude.
They're gross, bro. Like I'm not doing earwig.
You can hear them popping from across the room, and I will fucking hunt that thing down and kill it. It's fucking earwig. Dude, you read up some horror stories on earwigs. Those things fucking dig themselves down into your ear canal and start popping in your ear. Just fuck that. So I'll hear one popping. It could be all the way across the house. I will hunt that shit down.
You know, we don't have a lot of those for some reason. We get palmetto bugs in the house because we leave the doors open with the dogs and stuff, and those will fly in occasionally, and we'll get one of those. We have a bug service that, you know, treats the house once a year, or twice a year, whatever it is, to try to keep most of that shit under bay. We don't get it. I don't get them in my house here. My parents used to get them. I can think it depends on where you live in my area, but scorpions we have here. They're little. They're not the big ones, but they're little, but they'll still sting the piss out of you. I'll tell you what else we have here is fucking banana spiders the size of my hand.
You know what we do have here now that I don't think we had here a few years ago?
What's that?
And it was something that was new to us when we moved to Pennsylvania, and Alex was actually fucking playing with these things.
Murder hornets?
No. Well, so I was actually curious about that. I was looking it up, and growing up, we had what we always called Japanese hornets. And they're big. They're like 2 inches long. But if you look it up, they're just called Asian giant hornets. And I don't think they're the same thing, but I couldn't find anything called a Japanese hornet. I couldn't find anything about that. So I don't know what those were, but they were big. And dude, they sound like fucking helicopter. They fly by your head. Yeah. But when we were in Pennsylvania, Alex was holding them in their hand. They would land on her and she would like just hold them in their hand. But assassin bugs. Do you know what an assassin bug is?
I've heard of them, but I can't think. Are they dangerous?
That was one of the things on Coyote Peterson's list of most painful insect stings.
Oh, wow. That sucks.
And it was like top 2 or 3. And she was just like playing with them in her hand, had no clue what they were. And we found out about Coyote Peterson when we moved back down to North Carolina. And she's like, oh my God. I was playing with those things in Pennsylvania. And when we saw them in North Carolina,
aggressive. Luckily, they're not very aggressive. They must not sting you unless you really piss them off.
I don't know. But when she saw them, when we had them in North Carolina, she's like, nope, fuck that.
We have pretty much every creepy crawly known to man down here, man. Florida is like home of every bug ever. Like if there's bugs in the United States, we probably have them here. I mean, they're just all over the place. Which,
well, I'm so glad that I could inform you that you do have Lone Star ticks in Florida.
yeah, that's great. Which, I mean, fuck, just one more reason for me not to want to camp in Florida.
Hey, one thing you don't have there is bullet ants. There you go.
We don't have bullet ants, so that's true. We do have these we do have these weird little red ants with these long, skinny butts that we get out by the pool sometimes, and when they bite you, that son of a bit. And it's not fire ants. We have fire ants all over the place here in North Florida.
Is it the cattle killer?
I don't know what it is, dude, but it hurts like a bitch when they sting you, and you get a big red welt, and it hurts. They're little. They're not very big, but they got long, skinny, pointy butts, and they're like bright. They're like a bright red kind of color. And dude, it is not a fun day when you get bit by one.
So we have these here. The red velvet ants is what they're technically called, I guess. But those?
Yeah, no, that's they're like an orange color. They don't have that black, and they're not very big. They're pretty small ants. But man, when they sting you, you know it. I mean, it feels like a bee sting. It hurts. Several people have asked. Sorry to kind of derail where we were going with that, but I've seen it a couple times. Asked what smoker I use. Right now I use a pellet smoker. A Pit Boss is the brand. I really want. I think Taylor just checked out on us, but the live stream's still going, so hopefully he'll come back. Yeah, I use a Pit Boss pellet smoker. I was like, well, Taylor went away. I want to get a what's the fucking brand? Oh, I had it. I lost it.
Traeger?
Traeger. Yes. I really want to get a Traeger. I've honestly been reaching out to them, trying to get them to send me one for me to review because I really would like to try out a Traeger. But I am a firm advocate of the pellet smoker. I used to be against it. I had a big old huge solid steel barrel, like, smoker with the side stack that you put the logs in. And I was like, oh, if you don't smoke with all wood, it's bullshit. And I was into that for years. And then, man, I got into the damn pellet smokers and I was like, you know what? I get just as good, if not better results than I ever got using real wood with like not having to babysit the fire. So
I have this thing really quickly. Terry Dolan says, this is one reason I like Ireland. Most dangerous creature here is a perturbed house cat.
Right. That's it. Like, that's fucking perfect. See, and that's where my people are originally from, Ireland. So maybe I just need to go back there where there's no Lone Star ticks and fucking assassin bugs and
black. Kind of to
what's those things called? Black mambas? We don't have black mambas here. They're not black mambas.
No, those are South America.
Cottonmouth. That's what it's called. They're black. That's why I was thinking black mamba, but the cottonmouth are water moccasin.
So one of the things that just to bring this back into the whole camping thing that I'm excited is BioLite sent me one of these.
What the fuck is
now? It's a fire pit. This is a fan, and it stokes the fire so it's smokeless. But there's a grill top on there. You can see right here. There's a grill top. But
what's the fan run off of? You got to plug it in.
Big ass battery. So you charge it up first.
And that don't get hot and burn that fucking thing?
No, but here's the thing. They may or may not have sent this to me 3 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I shot an unboxing about 4 months ago.
Here's the thing.
And then I never uploaded it.
I've dropped the ball and taken a while to done some stuff before. I don't know if I've ever waited 3 years though, Taylor. So I think you've taken the fucking cake for taking the longest to do. That's
oops. I told them that like I kind of was having issues with the channel, so I don't know. They haven't emailed me back in 3 years, so
that's too funny, dude. That's too funny.
But I'm excited to use it. Cooking on that, cooking over fire, cooking with a wood, like take some cedar with me. Well, I can't take cedar in, but
Have you ever done that, by the way? I don't think I've ever done that.
Smoked with cedar?
No, I've smoked with all kinds of wood. I've never smoked with cedar. I don't know that cedar would be good to smoke with. I usually smoke with either oak or I like
they do cedar plank salmon.
I like hickory a lot, dude. I'm a big fan of the hickory. Hickory is. But where the fuck was I going with that?
I don't know.
Oh no, the cedar plank, like with fish.
No, I haven't done that. It'd be nice though. I'd love to try it.
Yeah, I don't want to lie and say I've never done it. If I have, I don't think I have though. I think I've eaten it at a restaurant, but I don't know if I've ever done. I don't know that I've ever.
Yeah,
done
I've definitely had it before, but I've not tried it myself.
Yeah, cherry wood's good. I've used cherry wood. That's the one good thing about those pellet smokers, man, is you can get just about any. And the thing is, if people don't know what pellet smokers are, it's like the little wood pellets, and people are like, oh, but then it's got chemicals and shit. It doesn't. They just compress they I guess grind up the wood into sawdust or whatever, and they compress it, and like the sugars and the oils and the stuff in the wood holds it into the pellet because they put it under so much pressure. It's all 100% just wood. But you can get it in just about every kind of wood known to man: cherry, maple, oak, hickory, all the shit. They even have the ones for you guys that are into whiskey. They have the ones that's ground up Jack Daniel's barrels, and they have that turned that into pellets, and you can smoke with that.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Pecan is also really good to smoke with. Sorry, I keep going back to that. I like hickory though, man. Hickory, man.
I'd like a smoker and a pellet grill and a big green egg and all these things. I just don't have the outdoor space.
I don't know about the green egg. I know a lot of people love the green eggs. There's a cult following to the green eggs. I've never cooked with one, so I can't say one way or the other. All I can say is I fucking love my pellet smokers. I do want to get a Traeger though. I love my Pit Boss. I've had it for years now. I can't believe it's lasted as long as it has. I mean, it's everything in Florida goes to shit when it's outside because of the humidity, right? Like it's undercover. Yeah, I have a covered porch and stuff, and it's undercover and it never gets rained on or anything, but just the humidity in Florida and stuff, everything just kind of gets eaten up. And it's been out there for years. I've had that thing for at least 4 or 5 years, and it still works like a champ. I love it. So if you need a budget smoker, the Pit Bosses are great. If you want to go all in, I've heard the Traegers are awesome, but I've never used one. I certainly want to give one a try though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any plans for any of that until I get a better house situation. So it's all just moot for me for now, unfortunately.
Yeah. I have a grill type. I don't know if you call it a grill, but it's the horizontal one. I don't have the cabinet or upright. I don't really like the upright smokers as much for whatever reason. I find I can get more on the long ones. I feel like, I don't know. I've had a couple upright smokers in my day, and I tend to like the big barrel style ones better.
Well, do you think that's probably a good place to wrap it up? We're 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Damn. We have a hard time. Well, here's the thing. Tonight was weird because we had like a good 20 minutes of weirdness at the one spot
yeah.
So I feel like we would have, probably cut that out a little quicker. So yeah, we try to keep it like 2:30, 2 to 2:30, but we went over a little bit.
Originally we were talking like hour and a half, but we're 4 episodes in.
Like I said, when somebody was asking about, the more of the Friday night hangouts, and, we like the interaction, but me and you have had this conversation, Taylor, we've had it on here, but the interaction makes things go in 100 different directions, even more so in the podcast. So if we don't have a section where we kind of stay on task a little bit, I feel like it'd be hard to stay on target. But so I don't know.
It's hard enough keeping you on task. And it's just us too.
Trust me, brother. I hear you. I know.
Look, I thought that things were getting better. I really did. It was 78 in here earlier. Holy shit, it's hot.
Why did it get so hot all of a sudden?
I don't know. It's like 72 outside.
Wow.
I don't know what the problem is. I'm so ready for cold weather. Not just cool weather. I want cold weather because I've been so hot for so many months. Yeah, it's 73 outside right now.
Me too, man. And I got a while, dude. I live in Florida, bro. We're in peak hurricane season. We ain't got no cool weather for a while still.
Well, anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thanks, everybody.
So long and dealing with the technical difficulties.
Taylor, real quick, Sires, what you got going on? We do our final closings with what's going on for the week.
Yeah, so I just uploaded a video today about my off-road trailer and my plans for what I'm going to do with that. I have a video coming out on Best MEDC on Friday, and I have no idea what it's going to be about. I have not planned it. I have no clue at this current point in time. So there'll be something, but I don't know what it is yet. So that's really all I've got going on, and I'll be taking Eleanor on her first camping trip, not this coming weekend, but the one after, and I am, if you couldn't tell,
excited.
Very excited.
Excited. It's kind of like patina, but excited.
Yeah. What about you?
Me, I just dropped the video on the cigar bundle. At this point, it's just for entertainment value because they already sold out. So you can't get one, unfortunately. They sold out in under 24 hours. So again, thank you to all you guys that bought those and gobbled them up. That's really awesome. Hope you guys enjoy them. But the video's still out there. You can still watch me talk about them. I dropped that. At some point, the next video I got coming, maybe it'll be sometime this week, is I'm doing this new espresso machine that I got. I'm doing a review on it. I love this thing, man. It's like the company that I work with, and I'll talk about them in the video. They sent it to me as kind of like a professional budget option because I wanted like this really high end one. And she's like, have you ever tried this company? And dude, I won't go too much into it because it'll go into a long winded thing. But dude, that thing is
what brand?
It's
is it an Astra?
No, it's the dude that invented espresso. Oh God, I had it in my brain like 30 seconds. Agaja Classic is what it's called. The guy something Gaja was the dude that like invented the espresso machine. But dude, for like the price, it makes like high level like espresso drinks, man.
What's the price?
Like 400.
Ooh, that's not bad because Alex and I have been wanting a home espresso machine for a while.
No, dude, because the one that I was
and Astras are like $1,000, $1,200, $1,400.
Right. So. The one that I was wanting was like $2,000 or like $2,500. And the lady's like, look, before you go do that, she's like, and we could still maybe do a video on one of those at some point. She's like, but I really think you should look at this because it's a more affordable price point for people that want to get into it, but get a really high quality machine at a lower price point.
Is it a water line or a tank?
It's a tank.
I want a tank, so that's good.
It's a tank. But dude, like the steam pressure and the milk consistency for steaming milk and stuff, and the shots it pulls, it's got. I mean, I'll go into it in the video. Like I said, I don't want this to turn into a 45-minute. We said we were going to close out, but I'll be real quick. Yeah, that's going to be the next video I got coming out though. So that's coming out, and that's about it. And these shirts, I know a lot of people asked about these. And these shirts are up on the website now. So that's it for me for the week. Spends $2,000 on a watch, but won't spend $2,000. Look, Alex. Okay, I would spend $2,000 on an espresso machine. Are you talking about Taylor? Did you freeze? Did Taylor freeze? Did he freeze right here at the end? Right here. You can't freeze at the end. You can't freeze at the end. He froze. He froze at the end. I don't know what happened. This is a horrible way you can't end the podcast on a freeze. Ending on a bad note with the freeze. Damn it. All alone. All by myself. You guys don't want to hear me sing. Trust me. But yeah, I don't know if she was talking about me or Taylor with that comment. Wait, I think he's coming back. Okay. I was trying to hold on. I'm like, I don't want to end on a freeze. It's a bad end note. You can't end up. Was she talking about you or me with the $2,000?
She was definitely talking about me.
Oh, I mean, dude, it's hard to pull the plug because here's the thing about a $2,000 watch. You could resell that $2,000 watch and make your money back if you wanted to. And it's a collectible item. And it's something you can hand down to your kids.
Right. It's a business purchase. Like an espresso machine right now is not.
Right. I'll give you some more details about that thing, Taylor, because it's for the price. I think you would be happy with it. It pulls some really great shots. That's what the problem's been. That's what the problem's been all night. The taint has overheated. We've talked about this. The taint is the radiator to the body, and you've been overheated. I have been.
It is 86 in here, and counting up. It's still increasing. So
all right. Well, before you freeze up again, let's get out of here. Thanks, everybody. We love y'all.
Yep. Links for everything down below, so you can follow us in all of our other places, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, bitch.
Patina.
Patina.